What are we gonna do?
Grim. That's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper.
Bit grim.
The bosses are good.
And make it grim.
A grim tale indeed.
It's a little grim.
Meaningless and grim.
It's the Grim.
It's Grim.
Pretty grim, huh?
Things look grim.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We finally managed to schedule a game and have it actually work out. Tonight, we are going to be playing one of my own games, Machinations of the Space Princess. This will be a one-shot, but later on, if this goes okay, and as other things happen, we might do a little mini campaign of Machinations. So it's a D20 system, barely, OSR, barely, and derived from Lamentations of the Flame Princess, barely. It has a much more in-depth skill system, and it's meant for crazy, sleazy swords and sci-fi, heavy metal magazine sort of stuff, the wilder end of 2000 AD's nonsense, Roger Corman sci-fi, you know, that kind of thing. So not necessarily outright sleaze, but sleaze is definitely there. There is an implicit setting in the book, but not an explicit one. So what that basically means is that I have described things in a certain way, and I've given certain ideas and plot hooks and things throughout the book, which sort of describe a universe, but it's meant as a toolkit game that you can pick up and use to create your own games in this sort of milieu. But we're playing in the official setting, such as it is, which means that there once was a gigantic empire. There have been many other empires in the past. There will be many other empires in the future, because the universe is vast and old and incomprehensible. This one was the Erlanth matriarchy, wherein the nobility of the Erlanth were primarily women, controlling vast amounts of wealth and so on, ruled over by an empress who used all kinds of technology and stuff to prolong her life for a very long time. And she tried to prevent anyone taking over by having a great many children. So there are like 99 other space princesses out there. Then the empress died, and the empire fell into succession wars. There was a rebellion amongst the male ranks of the Erlanth, and the galaxy as a whole has fallen back into chaos. Tin pot dictators, little sort of kingdoms carved out of the stars, and so on. So rules-wise, the main thing is, well, main things are, it'll mostly be D20, so it will mostly be familiar to you. The saving throws are a bit different. Each one is tied to a stat, and it's half of the stat that you have to roll under on a D20. So a bit different to normal D20. Part of the use of those saves is for when you fail at something. So say you're trying to jump across a chasm, you make your skill roll and you fail, then you would get to roll, say, reflexes, and then you might be able to grab onto the far edge or grab onto the wall like a shrub or something sticking out of it, or whatever. So the skill system is Lamentations based. Let's roll a d6 basically under your skill level to succeed, and if you fail, then your saves give you a kind of chance to recover, as well as doing all the things that saves normally do. There are no set races as such. Instead, there is a rather exhaustive list of race traits, and you can build your characters using those race traits with no consideration for game balance or anything whatsoever. So it has that in common with Rifts, at least. Let's bring in the players and their characters. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Evening.
And ladies.
All right.
Hello.
Plot hook, as such. Well, we'll get into that as we go in, but we're going to just assume you're all a motley band of mercenaries who are being contracted. But do you want to give our viewers and each other a very quick and basic overview of your character, since you've only just read them as well? Starting with Florian and working our way across.
I knew it was going to be me. As long as there's sunlight, I have power to shoot and go pew, 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 pew.
So, yeah, Florian is a plant being, albeit one quite a bit more agile than Groot and somewhat more eloquent as well.
What class? Let's talk about classes real quick because they're different.
I'm a cold killer.
Keeping it simple. All right, moving on to Glorp.
I am Glorp, the gelatinous gentleman. I'm a sort of amoeboid thing, full of bits of shiny metal and crystals because I'm fashionable. And for the ladies, I can make my body change shape into any shape you desire.
Yeah, pyramids, boxes, spheres. You can do it all.
Yeah.
And what's your class?
I'm an expert.
Okay. Yeah, so the classes are expert, killer, scholar, and psychic.
I honestly.
He says, failing to remember his own classes for his own game. Oh, and war.
So for
No,
people
Warriors
who play
culture.
the people who play the most
Just
popular
before.
RPG thing, expert, that's basically like a thief.
Yeah.
That, right?
But yeah, but without the judgment. So expert, killer, scion, and scholar.
And Scion. Oh, you already mentioned that one.
Yeah. All right. So Lisa.
So Lisa Blunads is the shape that all men already desire. She is incredibly beautiful and can at least fly the ship when she gets behind the wheel. She's an expert, and she's a non-combatant.
Yeah.
Literally, that is her alien trait, non-combat.
So good at stuff apart from hurting people. All right. And then we have Shade.
Shade is an expert. He's got a cybernetic arm, and he's fairly kitted out for combat, wearing light combat armor, and he's got a plasma rifle with a target telescope, and he's a hacker. Pretty much sums it up.
Cool. And Ermintrude.
Ermintrude is a sort of cross between a fungus and a computer virus. She, for want of a better word, she just sort of just assumed that gender for no good reason other than it seemed culturally useful. Lives inside a great, very old, rusting machine, which she controls utterly, except for the slightly weird fact that when she's busy and the machine's subconscious is able to take over, it has a strange habit of tapping its feet on the ground, playing the tune of the Girl from Ipanema for some weird cosmic reason. She is a scholar, specializing in tech and robotics.
Cool. And the gang. And Tia Bia.
TA is a scion. She has a witch mark that is the typical trait of any scion, but this one is different. It is she has big bat-like ears that give her a great sense of hearing, and let's see, she knows how to shoot fairly, but she's primarily good at psionic powers. She can wipe people's memories, cause people to fall asleep, shoot bolts of psionic force, hold fast objects in containers or doors, and she can also open locks and such. And finally, she can enact anti-psi powers and telekinetic bonds.
Groovy. All right. So you are all disparate mercenaries, bounty hunters, and general ne'er-do-wells. Your various wanderings have had you drift up on station ? Which is actually pronounced station, which is an asteroid station in the far reaches of one of the last civilized systems to fall during the Erlanth civil war that is still raging on. People around here like to pretend they're still civilized, but Station is right on the outskirts of that. It's where their pretense kind of falls away and other things go on. But it's also a stopping point for larger ships, a spaceport that serves the whole system. So you're there. It's a hollowed out asteroid with a lot of stuff built up on the surface in the way that a primitive medieval town might have docks projecting out of it. The asteroid has pylons projecting out of it, to which larger ships attach themselves, and then passengers and cargo and so on get shipped back and forth. You've all kind of been stuck here a while. Work has run dry. The system's been doing well recently, and the better the economics are in the system, the less people feel the need to hire people like you. So you've been stuck, and your funds have been slowly depleting, picking up work here and there where you can, but it's like fairly mundane, boring stuff for the most part. However, you've all been contacted recently and told that there is a prospective job that may be suitable for people of your proclivities. And you are invited to come to the restaurant Mammals and to a numbered private booth, number 7.
Mammals? What? Have I been to Mammals before? What type of cuisine do they? I mean, I'm sure some gentleman along the way has taken me out on a date.
He won't have taken you to Mammals. So Mammals is a chain of restaurants equivalent to the ancient and much storied tradition of Hooters on Earth.
In relative to the star, what's the solar lighting look like? Would I be able to get enough charge for the day or no?
Yeah, well, the lights in the station, or at least the ones that haven't been replaced by cheaper bulbs, will provide you, enough light to photosynthesize. So
And
you should be okay.
Am I more preferred to your ultraviolet light or?
Yes, you're green, so standard photosynthesis.
All right. I will begin my day's regiment of fruiting and collecting things to pass out later.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't exactly confiscate you now, can they? All right. Does anyone have any concerns or issues about this invitation, or are you all just desperate enough to get going?
Oh,
I'm trying to remember if I ever worked at one or not.
No, you haven't worked at one. Sorry, what were you saying, Simon?
I'm very familiar with Mammals.
In general, or the restaurant?
Well, both.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Right. Well, one by one, you drift in close to the appointed time. The Mammals does a pretty roaring trade here. Lots of people, coming off the pylons, hungry, perhaps horny, even a little brain drunk from cryo sleep, a bit dopey. which makes Mammals an ideal sort of restaurant to prey upon that sort of clientele. You make your way in. There is loud music playing. It's all very sort of twangy string instruments, and a mishmash of language, a sort of patois. But from what you can make out, that's in the common tongue, the singer is singing about someone having towed his spaceship away and his third wife having left him with his globalings, something like that. Sport, you think, is playing on the 3D visit screens, and it's a split-level restaurant. There are stairs heading down into the regolith of the asteroid, and other stairs going up to a sort of observation platform where you can watch the ships coming in and out. A happy-looking waitress approaches you with a little data pad. She is endowed with 3 rows of breasts of quite remarkable size, and is wearing a rather skimpy uniform with the logo of Mammals upon it. Hi, can I help you?
I give her my amazing smile and my cute little wiggle and say we're expected at table. Does anybody remember the table? 7. So please be a dear. Help us very quickly. Get us to our table.
She scrolls through on her data pad and then flips it towards you on your personal computing device or comm device or whatever. A little message flaps up saying that you've been sent an application form to work here. Then she finds the reservation, collects you all together from the waiting to be seated area, and leads you downstairs. It's a bit seedier down here. There are a lot more sports screens, and people are smoking, drinking, or doing various other things with various illicit substances down here. Despite it being a chain restaurant, people seem to be treating it as just somewhere to deal with their addictions the moment they get off the spaceships. But she leads you over to booth 7, which has a privacy force field around it. Here we are. Is everyone together? Is this your whole party?
Yeah. Unless there's somebody waiting for us already, I think we're incomplete.
Okay. She reaches out with her pen, touches the force field, it ripples, and a doorway opens up in it.
Before we go in, can I take a long gander around just to survey the area?
Yeah.
Can I take a step back?
Yeah, there's a lot of slightly shady types, but you've been stuck here a while, so you kind of know most of them on site. You don't think there's anyone who's a danger or anything to you.
Okay, so that's a no roll.
Well, is there something specific you want to?
Exits and hostiles.
Okay, let's see. Roll a d6 under your structure skill to look for exits and so on.
Structure. I got 1 on the die and I have 1 on the box. Check.
So that's a success, and you don't need to make a save or anything. So yes, there is a designated fire exit which seems to open out into the mining tunnels that burrow through this asteroid. That and the stairs are the only exits. It's probably not up to code, but then nobody is really enforcing codes these days. So yeah, you wouldn't want to get stuck down here. As the biggest, is Ermintrude going in first then?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, you clunk along the floor. I think you're just medium sized, though, aren't you? You're not huge or anything.
No, I have robust build, but I suppose that's just sort of density rather than size, I guess.
But buxom.
Buxom like an ironing board.
Yes, several ironing boards stacked together. All right. So Ermintrude clanks in. The rest of you, I assume, follow along. It's a nice big booth, but the air that rushes out of the force field smells faintly of ozone. Inside, there's big seats, worn lizard skin leather, and sat at the far end and the corner is presumably the person who hired you, who seems to be a large, somewhat disjointed bird creature, a bit like a Skeksis, but less fetid and rotting. They welcome you with one of their forelimbs as you come in, and then run their fingers across a device on the table, which sparks with electricity. Come in.
Okay. Social reaction. How does that work?
Okay, so, well, first impressions, I guess, here are somewhat important, but a lot of the time it will just come down to how you roleplay. Now, where is it on the sheet? I'm trying to find it.
It's under race traits.
Okay. Yeah. So social reaction, if you have it as a modifier, you just roll a d20, and that will give a general idea of how a stranger might feel about you on first seeing you. So I don't think we need to worry too much about it right now.
Really?
I will probably use it at some point to give us like a starting point for people who need to be persuaded of anything, or if you're trying to blow your way past them or whatever. But this person, whoever they are, who contacted you anonymously, they know who you are, they know what you are. Please,
but they've never seen me in person. That's what I'm like.
Well, roll a d20 and add your social reaction then. Just for you, because it's so central to your character.
All right, so 12 plus 7.
Okay, so average reaction for you, but a good reaction for anybody else. So their beady little bird eyes sort of run up and down you, and a sharp, pointed little tongue licks at their beak, and they touch the device again with another crackle of electricity. Yes, come in, sit down, please, all of you. Lisa, why don't you sit here opposite me?
Certainly. I'm seated.
I'll sit next to Lisa.
Glorp, glorp, glorp.
Yes, Glorp.
I suppose I sit next to Ermintrude, as uncomfortable as that would be.
I don't think Ermintrude would be sitting anywhere. She's not
squatting.
She's not built. So basically, she just kind of, you can see the picture there. She just kind of folds her legs down under her so that her eyes are kind of peeking just above the tabletop, but she's not sitting on anything.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, TA is sitting at the edge of the table where Ermintrude is sitting or like clamped down right next to the table.
So as Ermintrude squats down, bits, joints and pipes and hydraulics that haven't been used in a little while come into play, and as it drops down on her legs, a sort of vapor of spores drifts out in all directions and settles over everything, giving it a slightly dusty.
I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm. We talked about this.
Quite all right. Now, I understand you've all been stuck here for some time, and the way things have been going hasn't been particularly good for you. That you likely wish to leave the system and are looking for payment to make such more viable, to move on somewhere else, greener pastures and all of that.
You mean a job?
Yes. Do any of you object particularly to bringing cessation to a Sophont's vital functions?
You're gonna need to explain to me how that works.
I see. Well, yes, given your nature, perhaps it's not known to you. But even your people die, do they not?
Oh, well, I mean, yes, but I'm just going to whisper to them, I don't really know how these things die.
I see. Well, if we consider Lisa, for example, she is solid, shapely as she might be, and inside this endoskeleton and musculature, there are what are called organs, each kind of clump of cells that works in a certain way, that does certain things like process air or clean the blood or dissolve food. It's how people like us exist. And when we destroy a certain number of these organs, some of them being particularly vital, then that individual dies, ceases to be.
Got it. So I just need to take out some of these things' organs and they die and you'll pay us.
If that is your chosen way to do things, then yes, certainly. There is someone I wish to have their vital functions ceased, for which I will pay you handsomely, of course.
Yep, no arguments here.
Does anyone else have a moral or ethical objection?
No, totally. No, there's no issue here for me.
Wait. So some of you folks, have done this kind of thing. This is what you do. I don't do that. I sit around, I look beautiful, and when they're looking the other way, I take their stuff.
Wow.
What is it? I mean, it strikes me that this is not the kind of thing that you just go okay without not understanding anything about the job.
We are still at the opening stages of negotiations, and as for your particular...
It sounded like Glorp had gone right to the ready to go. That's why I was a little confused.
He is just one giant everything organ, so perhaps he's a little hasty. Regardless, in order to cease the vital functions of Sophonts, one must first access those Sophonts in order to cease the vital functions of their organs, which is where you excel, do you not? Technical systems, locks, and so on. Several of you are fairly good at getting into places.
If I may interject, I believe there's a question upon mineral metallic alloy in large sums or very precious value. What are you offering?
Yes. I will be happy to offer you 100,000 grams of platinum and free tickets out of the system.
How about a ship I can fly? I'm waiting to fly. I need a ship.
Well, perhaps after the job is complete, you could purchase a ship.
Hey, you can fly us out of here.
Don't we already have a ship?
You maybe had a ship, and then
I
something
why we're stuck here.
Oh, I thought we
Something
just didn't have fuel.
Something untoward happened to it, perhaps.
So, how much, out of character, how much is that? You said 100,000 what?
Grams of platinum. So the GP in this is not a gold piece, it is a gram of platinum, because I just arbitrarily decided that's a precious metal, and it's something that's used in electronics and so on, so high-end stuff. So we'll make that the standard unit of currency. So it's a GP, but it's just not a gold piece. But you can think of it in terms of gold pieces.
And just as
And then,
an
like,
aside,
what's that standard
because
ratio?
say that again.
I was wondering what's the standard ratio? Is that very expensive? Is that like a standard thing for a hit or what?
I did actually work out the relative value somewhere in here. So let me.
I was going to say, Glorp, just so you know, like you're good at making buildings fall down. Like you can get yourself into really tight areas and then make things. You have a very high structure skill.
Yeah, so good at finding your way through things and stuff. You'd think I'd know my own book better, wouldn't you?
What are you looking for?
Currency. Should be at the start of the equipment section, but I'm having a hard time finding it.
Well, what's the equivalent of a Big Mac cost here? Because that would give us some.
Yeah, I always used a beer when I was in the Navy.
So a battleship is like 250K.
Yeah, a first aid kit is 2 grams platinum. That's a basic first aid kit. So a GP is probably worth about £10, $12 to $15 in real world money.
It actually says in the fill your hand section under money, it says that
there you go.
GP is worth approximately equivalent value to £15 or $20 US.
Okay, but that was in 2013. So things have changed since then. But yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot of money.
All right. Hopping back into character. So you quoted a price, and what is the preferred method? Loudly in the sphere or silently in the echoes of space?
Honestly, I don't care so long as the job is done.
Are you sending a message to others?
Yes. This individual owes me a great deal of money, more than I will be paying you.
So the louder the message, the bonus that should be incurred. Yes?
I don't think volume will be too much of a problem, but yes, a loud message would be good.
And what would be the bonus for a very loud message?
Well, you will be long gone, so wiring you a bonus will be difficult, but we could say a 10% bonus if their cessation of life function is suitably dramatic.
Is there a reason you're being overly specific with the words you're using as compared to the, strunk and white version of omit needless words?
Cheap translator.
Gotcha.
Now, your target. And he actually takes out a hard copy 3D stereogram picture of the target and slides it across the table. Can everyone make a logic save, please? So D20 equal to or under your logic.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's a no. I got a 6, and I rolled a 12 on the die.
Okay.
I got an 11 over my 8 logic, so I didn't succeed either.
Did anyone succeed? Anyone?
I rolled a 2, but I'm trying to find my logic. I'm assuming it's a success.
It's half your intelligence.
Okay, yeah, that's
easy. I rolled 1.
Though sometimes it's modified by other things, so you should check your actual logic to be sure. But a 2 should succeed.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. Well, for those of you who succeeded, the image is of a minor pop star / socialite / famous for being famous person. You recognize them because for whatever reason you've listened to one of his songs or seen his feed on the gal web or something. There's Guptang Nola Nola is the target's name. The picture shows him grinning broadly and drinking some kind of bubbly drink from a very tall glass. His skin is gold. There is a gemstone set in his forehead, and he's wearing what seems to be layer upon layer upon layer of spider silk in this image. But yeah, he's minorly famous, kind of on the level of a lesser Kardashian, perhaps.
Oh, so this guy rug pulled his meme coin that this guy was heavily into.
quite possibly. It's old school, but you know, so the old cons are still the best. Yes, he bet quite heavily on many sports ball games and owes me a massive amount of money. However, he has hidden himself aboard the SS Paradiso, which is leaving soon. Early next cycle, but I have managed to procure tickets. So I can get you aboard. Steerage, I'm afraid, not first class. Putting you in cryo storage would not be conducive to slaying this expletive deleted.
As far as payment goes, half now, the other half when the job's completed.
Once you accept the terms, yes. It might be preferable to wait for the cruise ship to leave before dealing with him, to lessen any connections back to me.
Oh.
Is there any other condition?
Where is this cruise ship headed? When we're leaving,
Can you
where are we
be
going?
careful about talking over each other, because it's hard for me to keep track. So sorry, Florian first, then Lisa.
Is there any other conditions? Because that was an added condition.
That's a preference rather than a condition.
I'm good.
If you agree, press your thumbs to the data pad. Half will be advanced to your accounts, and the other half upon completion. I'm sure their death will appear on the gal web quickly enough, and on the news soon thereafter, so I should have no problem confirming that the deed is done.
TA puts her tiny faint thumb on the pad and prints it.
You end up having to kind of climb up onto the table and put all your weight onto it for it to recognize your print.
I do so.
But it goes gleep, and your account is credited.
I have no thumbprint, but I'm going to stick my thumb on it.
Yeah, it scans you. It's just finding some sort of bio information when you touch it, so it's not necessarily your thumbprint. Could be a gene scan or blood type or whatever it is that can help identify you to the account holder.
A genetic slime fingerprint.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the obvious there.
I'm afraid it has already registered your payment, Ermintrude, perhaps due to your spores flying onto everything.
World building question. Can one remotely access computer terminals and things like that?
Yes. If it's a non-secure terminal, then proximity will generally work.
I would imagine that this is going to require a security check, because I want to remotely check the passenger manifest of the SS Paradiso, flight path, etc., etc. So I'm supposing that's a security check, is it?
So let me think.
What was the path? Because so security is like breaking in or bypassing a physical lock. Computer is, or hacking
More the
is
hacking.
computer. And then there's a stealth and a search, like if you were just trying to
Yeah.
either palm something or get an eyeball on it.
So security.
I'm just reading. I'm literally just reading from underneath my skill set here. Security +2, basic knowledge of locks and digital systems. I don't know whether that incorporates hacking though.
So yeah, this is a problem in a lot of science fiction games because things start to blur at the edges. In a fantasy game, something's either a magic lock or a physical lock for the most part. Security is much more about breaking through the systems. Whether guessing the code, picking the lock, crossing the wires. Computer is more to do with hacking. However, passenger manifests aren't particularly likely to be that secure unless someone's asking to travel incognito. So let me just take a look at your sheet.
In that case, I think I misinterpret slightly. I think I'm much more of an engineering rather than a computer cybernetics. So maybe I'm not the right person to attempt this at all.
If you say something that you're trying that, then I can take over and do it for you. I have hacking and quite good at it.
Yeah. So you can do that at Ermintrude's suggestion. So roll a d6 equal to or under your computer skill.
Okay. So 4, and I have hacking at 4 +1 for my AI hacking module.
Okay, so you have absolutely no problem. You get into mammals systems and out from there because they interface with the docking systems to order supplies and so on. So you can follow the docking system link out. And from there onto the public-facing manifest for the SS Paradiso, which isn't secure. There are more secure files attached to its manifest, but you can worry about that if you think you need to. But you do find the record of Guptang Nola Nola he's definitely on the manifest. In fact, he's on it 4 times.
Does it say how many security forces are that are attached to his entry?
It doesn't specify whether they're security forces or anything, but there are several other people as part of his traveling party, possibly his entourage, maybe security.
How many is several?
It's a good question. Let's say 4.
Okay. So him with his 4 entries, it's 8 possible.
Yeah. He may have just booked several cabins to use. It's the kind of arrogant thing that overly wealthy people do.
They are also known to take and rent the cabins on either side of them, so there's nobody right next to them.
I passed the information to Erntrude since he was the one looking for it. She was. It was.
They.
The thing was.
We.
Ermintrude's unity. The unity of Ermintrude.
Grim, do you recognize the name Ermintrude?
Yes, Ermintrude the cow from the Magic Roundabout.
Oh, no, that's not. I never heard of that. You used Ermintrude the mold in one of your Nova Pulp stories. The one about the beat cop, the murder police.
Oh, yeah, because he'd named the mold in his mug Ermintrude. Yes, correct. I remember now.
And then, boom, I made that character right after I read that.
So maybe the robot body is actually an elaborate coffee cup.
All right. A weird sort of, what was his name? Thompson, wasn't it? Oh, well, you see, my dear heart, I shall just have to go and...
Yes.
I wonder what is publicly available on the announcements, because you said this was a cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if there was a search a way to gather information that way. And then Lisa, I thought you had something to say because we kind of accidentally both talked at the same time. There was a thing.
I was just curious as to where we were going, but it doesn't really matter in the long run if we have enough money to go wherever we want after that. But of course, if we're going somewhere that we may not want to go, that would be a good idea to know before we got on the ship.
So Grim, since I haven't put my hand on the print yet, I put my non-cybernetic hand to the say I'm good with it.
Bloop.
So that everybody agreed now?
I believe so. All right. Your still unnamed sponsor politely declines some of Florian's buds.
I insist upon completion of a pact. We eat together, we break bread together. This is the way.
My biology is not compatible with such substances. I achieve a similar end with mild electrocution. And he runs his claw over the device again.
I'll get this like groaning like tree thing. Are you not a bird? Do you not like seed?
Sort of. There is no common analogy to my species.
With a large metallic clang, a cattle prod falls out of the side of Rust and starts kind of making its way towards him, sparking at the end.
It makes contact with the bird creature, who slumps into the seat in a kind of utterly caned haze from the electricity. Good. Yes. Let's go. Kill them. Yeah.
All right. Let's go. I'm not killing anybody, but I'm happy to take a cut of the pay.
When you accepted the job, you got your advance on the money split between you. And you also got transferred boarding passes to the SS Paradiso.
How much was the advance?
Half, so 50,000 GP split.
Do the boarding
6 ways.
passes have our actual names on?
They appear to have cover identities,
Okay.
each named after a different kind of radiation.
Is there any type of like suit or something one could grab that would be suitable for like short space journeys? Like if I were to do maintenance outside a ship, but a little bit more hardier than that?
Yeah, let's see, a basic spacesuit.
Just in case we might need to do a spacewalk. And that's I put the number in there for you guys. It's like 83.
You don't have one?
I have one.
I have one. I have a spacesuit. Why don't you have a spacesuit?
I have a biosuit and I have a deflector shield.
I even have an air tester and a food tester, and a water tester.
Your biosuit has life support, so you can go out into vacuum in that.
Oh, okay. All right, I misunderstood. My bad.
No problem.
What does the deflectors do if we decide to go get one of those?
So you can get two kinds of shields. One kind absorbs damage, so it gets whittled away as you get hit. The other one deflects shots that are coming into you, so it boosts your AC.
Can you have the two at the same time, or
you can buy a combination shield, but things get expensive once you start piling on options.
Does my biology need an atmosphere?
Well, no.
But presumably you still have a regular freezing temperature, and since outer space is minus 270 degrees...
Maybe he's got antifreeze for blood.
If I drink enough...
You can probably last for a while. Just a little while.
Okay.
But your
Well,
spacesuit is probably just a bin bag with a zipper.
no, I'll use my hat generator and make a space hat.
Your holographic space hat.
Well, it makes everyone else feel better.
What is available to actually pick up before? Like, I was looking at the healing gun, and I'm looking at maybe grabbing a rifle.
Basic, largely unmodified anything is available if you want to pick up anything.
So, can I grab a medium caliber shotgun?
Yeah.
Okay. And then how much is it for the healing gun? Because that might come in handy.
I think the healing gun is too exotic for you to get here.
Drats.
Yeah, because that would be very high tech or exotech. So, yeah, you're out of luck on that one. Now, hang on. Shotgun, ranged weapon. So medium caliber, yeah, that'd be 200 GP. So a very basic shipboard shotgun. So low penetration shells to be fired through it. D8 damage, medium range, ammo save 16, cost 200 grams platinum.
Let's explain ammo save.
All right, so rather than keep track of all the ammunition, and because turns are generally considered to be more like an exchange, like older school versions of D&D and so on are, at the end of the combat, you roll to see if you've used up a magazine, essentially, and that's what the ammo save is for. So if you get into a blazing firefight with your shotgun, at the end of the combat, you roll a d20. If you get over 16, then you've used up a magazine. If you get under 16, then you conservatively use your ammunition and you don't need to worry.
So did you come up with the usage die like 5 years before the Black Hack?
When did Black Hat come out?
Ooh, must have been after 2013, surely.
Then yes, probably.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I'm curious now. "2016 was Black Hack, so yeah, 3 years before. There you go. I was innovative and I didn't even know it.
What is the law enforcement status of carrying shotguns onto cruise ships?
Not particularly good. Like, you have to keep them locked away, but it is a lawless universe out there, so they kind of understand how people might need weapons on occasion, so they try to be understanding, but don't like you promenading around the ship, you know, shooting hats off people's heads and intimidating the other customers.
You could probably smuggle them inside either Rusty or Glorp.
Yeah, you could smuggle things inside of me. I mean, I'm see-through, but I'll just say it's part of me.
Although the shooting off of people's hats and such, we could do that if we're paid to do so. Entertainers and such.
Hey, don't shoot my hat.
Security staff are allowed to carry weapons, so you can probably find a way to excuse yourselves. Your tickets don't say that you're security staff, though, so we'll have to see. Personal weapons, you're probably all right with. If you try and carry like a Phase 17 mountain blitzer, then you're going to have issues.
Could I buy a couple of gallons of antifreeze?
Yes, easily. Say 2 grams platinum.
Cool.
So, the other question I had was, is this ship, the SS
Paradiso.
Yeah. Is this traveling with a bunch of other ships like a caravan, or is it like a solo big ass cruise ship type of thing?
It's a big ass cruise ship. It's going to be traveling by itself. Passenger hauling, So, right, you've got steerage, which is the cheapest cabins, and people travel in that awake. Then there are the cryo holds, which is sort of mid-tier travel without all that tedious, having to sit around while ships move in and out of orbits and jump through hyperspace and all that crap. Though, while the tickets are cheaper, the fact that you have to buy food and drink and exist often means that the lower tier passengers end up paying more than the middle tier passengers. Then the higher tier passengers, they get treated really well. They get really nice food. They live in the cabins on the outer shell of the ships. They can see the stars and all of that kind of thing.
So, this large cruise ship, it will allow other ships to dock with it then?
Yeah, there's tenders and supply vessels. So
What
it will.
What about personal vessels to dock? Like if we had a transport ship?
So some of the passengers are wealthy private individuals who have their own shuttles and runabouts and things. So they have permission to use the Linus shuttle bay, but not just any random Tom, Dick, or Harry can fly and dock.
Here's an idea. Maybe we could pull our money together and get a small transport ship as a backup, and then hack our way to get a security pass and dock with it.
Now, this might be well beyond scope, but I'm just going to ask the question. So Rusty here has an interface module, all right? And that interface module means he can connect directly to Ermintrude for decision making and collaboration. Would it be theoretically possible to uninstall that interface module and install it into the command system of SS Paradiso?
So an interesting one question though. Then I'll put in one thing though. Look, one of your alien abilities allows you to also connect with things without having the piece of equipment. So you actually have two different ways that you can do this thing you're asking about.
Right. Okay. This might be entirely game breaking if we allow that.
I thought it was brilliant.
Can take over the whole ship, but never mind. I just raised it as a kind of possibility.
I'm just looking. Interface module.
But if we have a character who can take over our ships, then we need ship rules for player characters. Polter style orbitals or whatever.
Well, and it is part of the setting that some ships have ships avatars, like Romy in Andromeda. So yeah, it's not impossible. Hypothetically, yes, you could connect to the ship. Do you know how to pilot a ship?
Nope.
Okay. But
I do.
So you could, but it's not necessarily a bright idea, right? Like, it might not be a bright idea telling your cat to take over while you're driving at 80 miles an hour on a motorway. I mean, technically, the cat might be able to steer it, but...
We're degenerating into Red Dwarf.
Wrong cat.
All right. Okay. Cool. Got it. I have the general parameters, but as long as it's not impossible, let's see how things play out.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Next, we're going to find out that this connection thing is a groinal attachment, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh,
two Polaroid attachment.
Am I allowed to grab some kind of incense burner or whatever?
Yes, absolutely.
I think you understand where I'm going with that, right?
Yes, there are many beggars and street peddlers crowded around the pylons selling tourist tap, which includes incense burners.
I'm going to need a martini glass from somewhere as well.
No problem.
And one of Ermintrude's legs and that man's prosthetic eye.
All right. Any other preparations?
Taya is probably going to go and probably find some psi drugs or something like that if it's available.
Let's see. Okay, you're not hugely streetwise or anything. So make a charm save to safely locate a dealer.
Okay. That is 12 over 5.
Okay.
It's not go well.
Wait, she has web of contacts. 3.
That is true.
You do? Okay. Do you want to roll that first then?
How do I roll that exactly?
So if it's a skill, which I believe it is, yeah,
Yep.
web of contacts, you roll a d6, and on a 1 to 3, you can locate someone through your contacts.
Okay, let me do that real quick. Exactly 3.
Okay. All right. So while the others are going back to their various hidey holes to collect their gear and so on, you go out scouting for a dealer, talking to your contacts. Eventually, you do find a dealer hiding away at the edge of one of the lesser used shipyards. You sort of sidle down a little alleyway, and there is a guy down there, balding, with a kind of black stringy mullet. Looks like he's a human. They get everywhere, breed like rats, humans. He's got a long black coat, and he's just kind of standing there, twitching slightly. Some sort of felinoid creature with 6 legs coils around his feet and notices you first. Then he looks over at you. You T?
Yes.
You're after some brain boost, yeah? Bit of the old lobe fizz, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay. I got some. It's gonna cost you though.
How much?
Can't let it go for less than 1,000 GP.
Okay, how much GP do I have right now? Based on the advance?
I think it was 8,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll give you 5,000 on 3,000 left.
I've only got a couple of doses.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right, for $2,000. Yeah,
Yes.
flip me the cash.
I flip in the cash.
Okay.
And it's just like it's kind of like Cyberpunk 2077, where just kind of like you see the numbers pop in your HUD, and then just...
Yeah, his contact lens in his left eye flashes up and registers the payment. And he opens his coat, which is full of vials and breathing masks and injectors. He takes out a couple of the tubes and holds them out towards you. All right, flip the safety, push down.
Right now?
Well, no, when you want to use it, and then drink. Okay.
Okay, will do.
He hands it off to you. You hear a faint squeaking noise coming from one of the tubes.
I ignore it. This is just all going according to plan. Of course, there's going to be squeaking noise. There's some kind of creature in there that gets the drug. In fact,
What did her acute hearing tell her?
That is true. What can it tell me?
You can hear very small, very rapid heartbeats coming from the tubes, as if a shrew in great distress is within.
I'm gonna just pocket it and walk away.
Not gonna look at it or anything.
Not now.
Okay.
I might do it away from this area just because I don't want to piss off the drug dealer. And when I get to a quiet area with not a lot of foot traffic, I'm gonna open it up.
You're gonna open it.
Mm-hmm.
So you pull the stopper off, but not trigger it.
Yes.
Okay. So you stop a short distance away, take out the tube.
Actually, on second thought, I'm going to take the drug. I'm not just gonna empty it out.
You don't need it at the moment.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
I mean, you can take it recreationally if you want.
No, I'll wait until I need it.
Okay. So you're still going to check it out?
I'm gonna look at it, not open it up.
Okay. So it's a glass stopper. A glass tube of fairly thick armored glass from the look of it. At the top of it is some sort of device that forms the stopper, and there's like a safety switch you have to flip up and then press. Inside the tube, banging its tiny fists on the side of the glass, is a tiny little blue creature in a white hat.
Is this
color
one of the
pants is it wearing?
ancient
It's
legends?
not wearing any
of-
pants. This is an adult game.
Is this one of the ancient legends of the blue elves that live in the forest of the underworld?
It's banging its tiny fists against the glass, and with your hypersensitive hearing, you can hear it going, "Help me!"
I shake it up.
Okay, it rattles around on the inside and slumps in a heap on the bottom.
And as I am a small person myself, I find this hilarious. There's someone smaller than me.
What if you're just in a larger tube? Oh, deep. All right, shall we screen wipe to boarding the ship then?
Sounds good to me.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do, score, or get distracted by?
No, I mean, I'm not buying weapons because, like, they said that you need to get at the organs inside people. That means going in through an orifice, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So they're paying me to have sex with this person, and it will kill them.
Okay. All right. Star Wars style diagonal screen wipe. And you are waiting with the other steerage passengers to get on board the vessel. The vessel's security staff are in their uniforms, which are clean and pressed, but looking a little bit threadbare. You guess the ship's just been working constantly since the Empire collapsed, and they're kind of make, do, and mend seems to be the idea. But they come up and down the line, checking people off on their lists. Eventually, you reach the front, showing them your tickets on your personal devices. Do you have any weapons or other dangerous substances upon you?
I step up, smile my biggest smile, get myself all sexy, and distract them as the people behind me keep on moving through.
Okay, well, let's see. Make a social reaction roll first.
Okay. Oh, that one's only 12 total.
Okay. Yeah, they're kind of lukewarm to you. Now make a charm save to recover it.
And a charm is, where's my...
Should be half your charisma. Should be
Yep.
right next to it.
And that's a D6, right?
No, that's a D20
Oh,
equal
that's
to
a
or under the number.
D20. Which one was the D6?
D6 is
Oh,
skills.
no. Skills, right. Gotcha. Okay, so I need a 10, and I got an 11.
Okay, so fail. You do not manage to distract any of the staff. They are far too professional for your shenanigans. But the other problem is that on the boarding ramp, there is a multi-wave scanner that will detect any weapons or devices that you don't declare unless you can do something about it.
Could I first use my hat generator to give me a pimp hat? Because, like, I've seen these men around with the ladies, and they always have a lot of ladies with them.
Yeah.
And then approach one of the female members of staff and try my luck.
Okay. You ooze up to one of the blue-skinned stewardesses who is helping
She'll
conduct
smell
you.
me coming a mile off because of the martini glass full of antifreeze. So I'm going to reek of alcohol.
Ammonia. Yeah. All right. She looks down at you. So interesting view from your photoreceptive skin surface. Can I help you, sir? Is it your turn to board?
So, darling, my friends here would like to come aboard without any unnecessary interruptions. Perhaps we can make some arrangement, and I'll like wiggle my eyebrows up and down comedically.
Do you have eyebrows? I guess you do now. If
Well, I do
to.
now. So I don't know if you want me to make a social reaction roll or charm.
We'll start with a social reaction roll.
Okay, so it's a D20, right?
Yep.
21.
Okay. She giggles and hides her mouth behind her tablet computer and says, "Well, I shouldn't, but you're so cute." She reaches down and pinches some of your globular flesh and wiggles it. Tell you what, I'll let you and your friends skip the line.
Well, come and find me later, and I'll make it very much worth your while.
Well, I would, but you're in steerage, and I'm afraid we mostly work on the upper decks still. Maybe I'll see you there.
Oh, I'm sure I'll find my way up there.
She swats your temporary hindquarters with her tablet computer and ushers you all through.
Could I would like to try something. Could I use security to, like, if I was a security for somebody who was trying to stay hidden and coming in through steerage, but kind of like talk to the guards, be like, "Hey, I'm one of you, just undercover, yada yada yada." Could I attempt something like that?
Yeah, so it's more of a social thing. So,
I have security as a skill, so I was hoping.
Yeah, it's more about breaking into stuff, but it could help you pass yourself off as what you're trying to. So let me have a look. Okay, let's take the average of your stealth and security. So as a roundup. So 2. Make a skill roll with a skill level of 2.
Okay, so that's a D20 or
D6.
Or D6. Okay, all right. Oh, I got a 1.
Okay. Right. The guard sort of takes you in the way you carry yourself, even though you're a plant creature and not the same species as him. But you're talking the right talk, so he nods, flips the scanner button off, and ushers you through, and then taps the side of his nose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, any way I can get a comm for a closed loop.
We can't allow ship-wide security to be compromised in such a way. Sure, you understand.
Oh, I understand, but I could also make it worth your while. Trust me, I'm an ally.
More than my job's worth at the moment, but we'll see. All right. So you're able to get through.
Yeah. Damn it. I was hoping to pull that. Damn it.
So you're able to get through with all your gear and find your ways to your cabins. There's like 4 bunks in each cabin. So 6 of you. So that's 2 extra beds in one of the cabins. Let's see if they are filled or not. You're lucky. Neither of them have passengers booked onto them. So that gives the 2 in there a bit more space. It's very basic, slightly configurable cabin bed. It can be lengthened slightly, broadened slightly, shaped slightly differently for different body types and so on. But it's not particularly comfortable in any configuration. There's also a security locker with, a 4-digit code. That'll stop anyone on it for you to put your valuables in. It's pretty Spartan, you can tell that the ship hasn't been properly maintained in some time.
Would anybody object to doing a meandering kind of scouting? Just get the layout of the whole ship, see where we can go, where we can't go, kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can wander around, do a little searching to see what looks like areas of weakness for easy penetration to other parts of the ship.
Okay.
Um,
I will give you the lowdown then on the ship, and then you can tell me if any particular thing interests you. There are like introductory holo vids that talk about the ship and the facilities
Right.
and things. Welcome to the SS Paradiso, cruising the cosmos with comfort you can't afford. The SS Paradiso looks like a Vegas casino duct taped to a scrapyard, then hurled into the void. Its bloated hull is encrusted with decades of mismatched upgrades, glowing neon signs that blink half-heartedly. Your escape awaits. And hull plating that's seen more micrometeorite impacts than a stray comet. The aft section is dominated by 3 enormous ion engines, each spewing, when underway, an unsettling shade of green exhaust, probably toxic, definitely non-compliant. It spins slowly, though it does have artificial gravity as well. It's just you'll be dropped into microgravity rather than no gravity if the gravity generators fall off. The outer surface features a gaudy promenade ring, complete with windows that allow you to look out onto the starry vistas beyond, which most of the time is just black space. The vessel is capped by a multifaceted observation dome where the more well-heeled passengers sip cocktails and pretend not to notice hull breach alarms. The low berths is where you are, steerage, where people who can't afford to be cryogenically frozen for transit wait out the journey in some boredom, but you have access to some of the facilities. Most passengers are carried in cryo coffins, and so there's row after row of ancient cryopods in some of the holds. Your bunk cabins are kind of stacked on top of each other, level upon level upon level, or like shipping containers. But you've got these sort of double bunk beds. There are vending machines for food, or you can go to one of the onboard restaurants and so on if you're feeling slightly more flush. The wall-mounted holo TV constantly beams ads for the ship's casino and the various things that you can do on board, but all of them cost money. Each cabin has an air filtration system, which can be customized to different races with different breathing requirements, and also has a privacy curtain. In some of the cabins, the privacy curtain is an opaque force field, looking somewhat like the force fields in David Lynch's version of Dune. And otherwise, the privacy curtain, where that has broken down, has been replaced with a ragged blanket on a string. Guests are advised to occasionally tip the air scrubbers in order to keep the oxygen flowing. The high berths have private suites decked out with faux leather furnishings, self-tinting windows, a functioning minibar, an AI steward, and they're largely soundproofed to protect the high-class passengers from anything that might annoy or upset them. And they're also prestigiously placed in close proximity to the escape pods, of which there are not enough. The promenade deck has all kinds of things designed to take your money from you. So gambling houses, a holo theater, a nightclub, shops selling luxury goods, and a few shops selling slightly less luxury goods. Of course, the ship hasn't had proper support in some time, so the promenade is on its way down from upper class to on its way to lower class. But they're still pretending for the moment. There are health facilities, sauna, gym, zero-G yoga classes, gamma ray tanning beds, the hydropurge sauna experience, which is apparently a fancy term for a very high energy colonic, a casino. The engineering decks are hidden well away out of sight of any of the passengers, even the low berth ones. And the observation dome is used every evening for a proper meal for the higher paying customers or some of the lower scale customers who pay a one-time fee to join there. So yeah, that's most of the facilities and things, and gives you a general sort of idea of the lay of the land. Do you want to know anything else?
So I have a question. There was discussion about the ability for the most wealthy to be able to dock directly with the ship to load and unload. Is there like a shuttle deck equivalent with potential getaway vehicles?
There is a shuttle bay nestled, sort of covered and hidden by the ion exhausts at the back. You can get to it from inside the ship, but it's mostly reserved for crew. It's only the wealthiest passengers that can afford to put ships and stuff in there.
Do we know which room our target is in?
That's the hacker's job.
Yeah, the crew manifest the ship manifest didn't tell you exactly where he would be, but you're pretty sure he's on board because all the high-class passengers boarded first.
Jim, can I hack into the camera and security systems so I can start looking through cameras for our target?
Yes. Okay, so first you're going to have to break into the basic ship systems. You can do that through the holovid here, no problem. Let me just bring up your character sheet. Okay. Right, make your first hacking roll.
Yeah, so I got 4 on the skill and 1 for that AI module thing.
Yeah, so that's effective skill of 5. So you need to roll.
It's just equal or under, right?
D5.
It's equal
D6.
or under.
D6 equal to or under?
5.
Okay. Right. With the assistance of your computer, you managed to get into the entertainment subnet, which means you can switch off the 3D vids in your cabins and get them to shut up and stop trying to sell you things. So you're already winning. From there is a link into the security subnet because if necessary, the communications net, the vid net can be used to send ship-wide alerts and so on. So make another hacking roll, but count your skill as being 1 lower.
1.
All right, no problem. You get into the security system that way, and then you're able to move sideways into the monitoring systems. This doesn't give you like really deep control over anything, but you can move from camera to camera, scanner to scanner, and look around the ship.
That's what I started doing.
Okay.
I have an idea. I'd like to run a past part to the party. So what if for a game plan we come up with something ingenious like this? Secure one of the rich people's transports. Better yet, if it's our target's transport, that would be great. Grab a security guard with high enough credentials to swap his body into our target's cryo chute. Stuff target into his own ship and leave with his own ship. If he has a ship or somebody else's ship. That way, not only do we get to make a very exploitive way of you get to take a spacewalk, I believe that might help our bonus because this is a precision strike. Or we can
we kidnap them and have them float past when everyone's having dinner in the dome at the top.
Yes.
Over them.
Butt naked, ass first on the space glass.
So here's a an opportunity to explore some of the game mechanics. So we could present, I could bring TBA and Glorp, and the three of us could try and seduce this guy. And, because though, TBA is not as amazingly gorgeous, knockout, beautiful woman like I am, she's actually pretty hot.
I have a 14 comeliness. Come on.
I mean, that was my
14?
plan.
I thought you had a
all along, was
16.
just to
No, I only have a 14.
have sex
Unfortunately,
with
but that's still something.
She's still no, that's still, she's still hot. And between Glorp and I, we must have like 8 ranks combined in lover.
Yeah.
So I think, and so the deal is we bring TBA because we do the initial seduction, we get in, and then she can do the mind wipe and all of the manipulation of the psionic stuff, and Glorp can do his removal of organs.
I mean, my thoughts on this is why do we even need to wait until we find the target? Why don't we all just go to a room? I mean, I've got this this manual here that shows us all these different sex positions. We could try some from out.
To hone your skills before seducing them.
Yeah.
You've asked me this many times, and the answer isn't going to change. So no. What I'm thinking is that our other option is we find a way off the ship right away and blow it up.
Or just blow up the whole ship.
Could be done.
Do we have explosives?
No, we could just fuck around with the engine, but I actually, as an option A or an option Z, I'm down for that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to fall apart anyway.
Well, use your structure skill and see what you think, Glorp.
What's a little casual genocide between friends?
What if we blew up the entire cruise ship and then carry it away on a life raft?
Bingo.
Skill, like looking at how likely this is to fall apart.
Okay,
Correct.
make a structure check, please.
We
Okay,
also
so
have to think of if anybody else escapes too.
This is a D20 plus my structure skill?
No, D6 equal to or under your structure skill.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, that's why we evacuate all life rafts other than ours before we leave.
All right. So the Paradiso has been constructed by basically, even before the Empire collapsed, taking old grandiose starliners and bolting them together, with the idea being to kind of preserve the heritage and beauty of these older vessels. It's like welding like a Cunard line to the Queen Mary or something, So it's kind of layered on top. But every attachment between every ship is itself a weak point. Any sufficiently powerful explosion should rip the ship into sections where it was pulled together. The systems aren't hugely compatible. They could get by before because they had the money and the expertise, but clearly things have begun to tail off there. It's a one massive kludge, really. So yeah, you can see the ways in which you could cause the liner to break apart relatively easily, perhaps by overloading a local power plant or perhaps even the ship's main power.
So we need to break it apart near to where the life vessels are, so that no one can get to them.
Hey, you mass murdering psychopaths, if you attempt that, you're going to have to first deal with me shooting you in the head. That is crazy. We're not killing off everyone on this ship to get one guy. I'm cool with killing him, not everyone.
I think that was Plan C. So
Oh, I see. It's quantity of bad things, not just doing bad things. So where is that number? At what point? So like, let's say we can get half of the people into escape pods and then blow up the ship, including our target.
What
Is that
quantity?
okay?
My
At
max
what point?
quantity is the magic number 42.
42.
There's the number. There's a number. Can't go over 42. If you kill more than 42 people, I'll shoot you.
All right. Let's figure that plan out then. That sounds like, just a barrier to success, not a problem.
So why don't we figure out a way to sneak in and just take out the guy we need to get?
well, you have found him. You think? So flipping through the scanner devices through the security console, you find your target, Guptang, in one of the better cabins. He's in there at the moment, just kind of sitting there watching the introductory videos.
Or any of
Mention. No, sure. Go ahead, Mal.
I was gonna say, are any of his hangers on with him?
No, it's just him in there at the moment.
And the cabins around it, the other ones that marked as his.
Okay. You flick to the next cabin, and this one also has Guptang in it, sitting alone, staring at the trivid.
And then I assume it's gonna happen on the next two as well. Then.
Happens on the next two, and then on the next one, you see Guptang again. He is lounging on the couch with two scantily clad female beings snuggled up against him. There seem to be two slabs of vat-grown meat security muscle who are sort of standing guard in the room as well. And he's engaged in animated conversation with a couple of guys in grey suits.
Do we know if Guptang uses substances?
You have a pretty good idea that he almost certainly does.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to make some more. Well, I still have the buds I made, but if I can make more buds, I will fruit some more. We need someone to sell me and get a reputation around the ship. That way we can get a layout on actually where he's at and what he's doing.
What happens if someone who's not a scion takes booster?
So there's only one way to find out.
Okay, I'll go test it on someone first.
So in his four cabins, 3 of them have doppelgangers of him just watching the vids, and then there's one that's obviously not the doppelganger.
Yeah. Presumably.
And there's no way to tell which one is which, right? Other than what they're doing at the moment. Like
Yeah,
they're actually identical.
3 of them are just sitting watching the vid, and
No, but I mean, like, there's nothing different about them. They're actually identical.
they look identical. Yeah.
I bet you a psionic person could tell the difference between them if push came to shove.
Or we could use the easy way in. Like I literally cleared it with Grim about making sure if since my plant is fibrous and dexterous, my buds are literally space cannabis. So we'll just sell my food. Like I make food for people that will make you survive for a day. We can literally get people high, get a quick reputation. He'll probably want some because it's a
You
special
can't ban me. I'm like natural, man.
Yeah. And we get to see firsthand exactly where he's at because he'll probably want to deal with us if he's a druggie. Since he's a star, he has a reputation. We can get some surveillance on him instead of have to go way out of the box.
So
I
we
could
see.
move my way up to the rich people area with
Yeah.
the bucks and sell them up there.
Yep.
Because that'll get the reputation in the right place.
And I will start putting some in my little incense burner, and I will follow whoever is the face talker, whatever.
I'm confused here for a moment.
Because I'll have
We
to
can
Yeah.
see the video of the room, but we don't know what rooms we're looking at.
No, there's 4. He has 4 staterooms.
Correct.
3 of them have a doppelganger of him, and 1 is
Yep.
him, his 2 girls, and his 2 bodyguards. I've got
So it
numbers.
sounds like the 2 girls plan actually has a chance because we already know he's into having more than 1 girl with him. But we don't know specifically which room he, his girls, and his
Yeah, you've got
goons are in.
the scanner. You've got the
Yeah.
room number.
I get
So,
the room
yeah.
numbers and where they are on the ship and everything.
So then why aren't we just figuring out how we get off the ship real quick once he's dead? If you just want to kill him by yourself, I mean, not by yourself, but you just want to kill him or keep that number under 42. So my math is 5 plus 3. That's 8. That's less than 42.
There you go.
So go get busy and kill these guys, and we'll find a ship and get out of here.
Well, we're probably going to need someone to, get us up into that area who's, the good talker of the group.
Mention was made of like an AI purser for the staterooms.
Yeah.
Now, is that a terminal or is that a robot?
It's a terminal. The shipboard. So there's a couple of shipboard AIs, one of which helps run all the ship systems, and the other one acts as the sort of hub for taking care of all the passengers. So the staterooms have a terminal that lets them talk to an iteration of the service AI.
Are there any robot staff?
Yes, there are plenty of robot staff.
Has Shade spotted any moving about the high-end staterooms?
The high-end staterooms are mostly tended by humanoid or other alien staff because, people are paying a premium. Maintenance robots and delivery bots seem to be the main use of robots elsewhere.
Rusty's a maintenance bot.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that he. Well, I mean, unless they are less than entirely salubrious, I was presuming that there's like an identifiable, fleet type, as it were. They're presumably using all the same.
All right, we're using highfalutin words again. What is salubrious for those of us who didn't go to Oxford? Oh, and the comeback about hard determinism and soft determinism is: what is your definition of will? Are you
free will, libertarian free will does not exist.
A British empiricist.
Libertarian free will does not exist, and it was Cambridge. And salubrious means wealthy or rich,
or luxurious in some contexts.
Yeah. The point is, I'm not sure that Rust is exactly in keeping, particularly moving around the high-end staterooms, right?
Well, wait a minute. No. Look at the state of this entire thing is like you're just at the lowest end of what's considered acceptable. Maybe you look a little more than usual, but this place is falling apart. Who's gonna notice?
Well, presumably
the toilet duck, you'll be fine.
Presumably, these things have some kind of security device, some kind of chip that broadcasts where they're allowed to go and not go, right?
Yeah, most of the bots are pretty dumb.
The tinker, you have a tinker skill.
I do.
Play with that. What are the other skills? Security and tinker. Those things should allow you to be able to address that kind of a problem. I'm just trying to push game mechanics so I understand kind of the limits of the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you could jigger with the robots to one degree or another. Take them over, tinker with them, change their functions, reprogram them.
So in principle, one of us, without any other faffing, I could, in principle, move around those staterooms without attracting attention.
Yeah. If you grab one of the maintenance bots, you could take its sort of identity chip, its RFID tag, essentially, and then trot around. 95% of the bots are all of a standard type, but it looks like they have been supplementing broken bots with other random repair droids and things that they've had to pick up to replenish their stock.
And are they all essentially dumb robots? They're like, Roombas, but,
Yeah, well, the delivery bots are all completely stupid. The maintenance bots are sort of specialized intelligence, SI, not AI. So, like, they know how to fix things. They know how to ask for help if they can't fix it.
Yeah, no, they're too stupid.
Grim, can I get into the employee records for authorizations and stuff?
Make another hacking roll to transfer over to those subsystems.
Do.
Okay, no problem. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm trying to find like what the security profile is for say like a security officer, for service personnel, et cetera, so I can make up phony credentials for us. So say entertainment personnel for Sleeza, security personnel for me, for Florian, bar staff for Glorp, et cetera, right?
Okay. It will take another hacking roll to change your IDs because you're currently already on the system registered as passenger, just normal steerage passengers.
Yeah. I want to make a completely false one for us so that like we're still in there, but there's a completely false one.
Yep. Make another hacking roll.
Yep.
Is there a way we can assist or no?
3.
Okay.
There's
there
not
are
a lot
ways.
of room on this D6, eh? Yeah,
additional people helping can give an additional plus. So
I got 2 in security. I could try to give you a hand with what I know.
Well, yeah, no. What I was saying is it's kind of hard to fail because I can only fail on a 6.
Yeah.
I'm not used to such a low roll for skills.
That's a 14% chance roughly to fail, I think. So, yeah, it's not insignificant. All right. So, have you actually settled on a plan at the end of all this?
Nope.
I have a plan when I finish getting the credentials together.
Well, all that's done is giving you an option to switch your ident on your ticket.
Yeah. No. I'm saying is I have a plan. I just haven't talked to these guys because I'm still doing stuff.
All right. Well, you are interrupted by a shipwide announcement. Attention, passengers. The SS Paradiso will be undocking and leaving within the next 10 microns. Please ensure all your gear is stowed. There shouldn't be a problem, but this is a standard safety procedure, just to be sure that nothing flies around and kills anyone if the gravity fluctuates.
That doesn't sound good.
I begin anchoring myself.
In the event of catastrophic ship deconstruction, escape pods can be found near the first-class berths.
I'm going to travel up to the first class.
Anyway.
All right. A loud clunk reverberates through the whole ship, and you get a very slight sense of acceleration, briefly. But presumably the inertial dampers or whatever it is that they use on this vessel are working, because you're not thrown against the rear wall and squished into a fine pink paste. Or blue paste, depending. The ship appears to be underway. We shall achieve safe distance from the station in about 30 minutes and then enter warp. You should not notice anything unless you are at one of the main windows, so please feel free to leave your cabins, stretch your legs, and avail yourself of the facilities. Thank you. Bing bong.
Wait, there's no bathrooms in our rooms?
Not that you've seen.
There's no toilets. Where are we? Yeah, where are the facilities? Where are we supposed to go to the bathroom?
Grim, do I get the hacking finished?
Yes, all done.
All right. When I get that done, I say to the group, or at least all the group that's in this room, are we still in the same room?
I assumed you all crowded together to discuss your plans. So,
my idea is we should all work our way up to the floor to the first class floors. And what I'm setting up is myself as a security, Floral as a security as well. Then we can block off access to any other security or anyone interfering. And then we get Ermintrude. I can't pronounce that. Sorry. Ermintrude to come up as maintenance in case there's something we have to do for maintenance and to give him a way in. And then the other three go as entertainment, whatever you want to call it, to go and get entrance the way you were talking about earlier, Sleeza, to his room. And if you can preoccupy him, then we can burst in, take care of business, and get out.
Well, I mean, just showing up and saying, "Hey, do you want to fuck?" might work, but I think we need to encounter him a little more organically.
Yeah, I was expecting you to come up with something more than that. That's why I'm giving you passes as entertainers.
This guy's like a pop star type thing. I mean, people will just knock on their door and be like, "Hey, do you want to fuck?" That happens.
There you are. That is very much more thematic. You are correct.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that you guys would have, like entertainment on the ship, right? You have actual entertainers on the ship, so give you guys credentials of that to get your way in there, because the guy's paying for service. I mean, he's not paying to just watch vids on television,
Do they have, as part of the staff, entertainment of the more adult nature?
Not on record.
Sleeza, I will give you incense burner.
Web of contacts.
And some packed stuff, some of my fruiting buds. And then I'll give the other half to Glorp.
If there are working girls or working beings of indeterminate gender, they will probably be in the casino. But make a web of contacts roll.
No, the TBA needs to, because she's
okay.
the one that...
Okay, I will do so.
If we think about this like a kind of high-end hotel,
yep,
Shade posing as some kind of security personnel, that's the sort of person who would be able to tell someone who asked, "Oh yes, as it happens, I can procure you some specialist entertainment services, sir." In fact, there's two particular entities. I can't think of another word given the two of you, that I can show you. Sorry, I interrupted your roll there, T. Go for it.
No, I was just going to say I have to roll a regular dice because for some reason my keyboard's not letting me type in the die code. Luckily, I have a DC.
What's numlock on?
I don't think so. Like, all the lights are off, so I don't know if something's wrong. Maybe it's just because it's a wireless keyboard or something. That is a failure. That's 5 in 6, and I got it's a 3 in 6 chance.
Okay, so other than the generic knowledge that the working girls, if there are any, will probably be at the casino, yeah, you got nothing.
Okay. I relay this information.
Do we have comms with each other or no?
You've got your personal communication devices / smartphone equivalent, portable computer doodads. So you can contact each other through those, but you don't have secure comm lines.
Okay. So to get a jump, I'm gonna get up there and act as just regular security, and get a layout of the floor. Then,
yeah.
If something bad happens, I'll let you guys know what I see when I see it. Before I leave, weapons check, lock and load, stow away, act like security personnel, make my way up, post up. So whatever the most direct route, I'll cover the backside half. Then I'll let Shade take the front. That's all right with you?
Yeah, that's why I set up the passes for us, so me and you could do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the others
Oh.
have access with the entertainment passes to come up, and he's got access, and Ermintrude has access for maintenance.
Yeah. So anyone is allowed up in the promenade as long as they're spending money, and then from the promenade you can get access to the more high class areas. But to remind you, on the promenade is this big sort of hoop that runs around the ship, and the deck in between the hoop, and it's got the mall, the theater, the fitness center / spa, the casino, access to the observation dome. I think that's everything because the other things were subsets. So yeah, but there's a bunch of shops and yeah, pretty much.
The markers for his rooms in this giant donut, were they close together or not?
So his rooms are in the upper class areas, which are beyond the promenade, further on up.
Yeah, we got to go all the way up there.
Does it have its own balcony down into seeing if this is a dome, right?
Yeah, there's a dome at the very sort of tip of the ship, and yeah, they can look down into the vessel from up there.
All right. So, is there a way I can make myself within 200 meters? No, we'll go to 100 meters of one of the farthest rooms from where we would go up.
Yeah, with your security pass, you can go up into the higher levels, and again, provided you're spending money, people might let you up there anyway. So
I've had an inkling of a plan. Let me run this quickly by you folks. So, what we do is our security beefcakes find themselves at their secure points to cover us. We prearrange through the hacking to have a maintenance issue be prepared to happen. The three of us, so Gorp and TBA and myself, we go to the cabin, announce ourselves as complimentary entertainment, and as we enter, there is the prearranged maintenance issue. The then Ermintrude comes right in as a maintenance bot, and now we have 4 people. The other 2 can come in right behind, and now we've got everybody into the room, and those of you who know how to create violence and execute such are welcome to. Comments? Feedback?
Yep, all good.
Sounds good for me.
Seems a lot better than just blowing the whole ship up, honestly. Even though it would be fun. It would be fun, but
So I've noticed one thing though that I did forget. There are 3 other copies.
Grim,
What to do about that?
as we're heading up there, I have my portable terminal for hacking and the AI thing. You said this ship is basically a bunch of ships hooked together.
yeah.
Were any of the connections like not actual welds, but like interlocks?
Where there were ways that the ships could be docked together, they used those as sort of natural connections and then reinforced them. So some.
Okay, so I want to look through the system and see if I find those on the maintenance system. I assume it means I got to travel to a different part of the thing.
Make another hacking roll to move from security to engineering.
Yeah, 1.
Okay. That's a horrible mishmash of systems, this. So make another hacking roll with your skill penalized by 1.
4, which is just on with the AI thing.
Yeah. You managed to get into the systems of the various ships that have been welded together, and you make note of the ones that have been essentially docked together permanently rather than connected in other ways. So, yeah, you can get access to that.
Okay, so that one that I got a hold of, that's going to be our emergency. And I'm going to, write a little sub-program so I can hit it to cause the clamps to release. But not actually all of them, so that it doesn't actually separate, but just enough that everyone's going to freak the hell out.
Enough to cause a panic. Okay. Tell you what.
Oh wait, we forgot how to escape after we complete this part of the caper. How do we get out of here? How do we escape afterwards?
Well,
I liked the idea somebody had earlier on about just bullshitting our way onto a docked subship, which I'm assuming there is one. There's a kind of, and there's tenders, you say, as well.
Yes.
There was a mention of the thing has tenders and exterior things. So it seems that there are options, providing we don't end up,
blowing the place up.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's just get to the part where we can actually get near the guy first.
So Florian and who else? We're going to go and try and get close to the guy's room and scout it out.
Me and Florian are basically locking down that area to make sure there's no other security in the way.
Okay. And the rest of you are going to circulate literally and metaphorically on the promenade to get a feel for the ship.
Yeah, well, we're going to figure out how to escape. That's the key.
Well, yeah, you can go and nick one of the subships from the docking port. That seems like from the shuttle bay. Sorry, that seems like the best way to escape. Should you feel so inclined? Plus, it gets you a ship, so
Woo!
All right, let's take a break there, and we will pick up with Florian and Shade scouting out the room, and anything random I decide to throw at the rest from the promenade.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yes, the superb owl is happening, isn't it? Soon. All right. 15-minute break. So see people around. Well, I'll put a ticker up. All right. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
All right.
real Grim. What are we gonna do?
Grim. That's how it looks.
I'll take Grim right now.
I am the Grim Reaper.
It's Grim.
The bosses are good.
And make it grim.
A grim tale indeed.
It's a little grim. Meaningless and grim. It's the Grim!
It's Grim.
Pretty grim, huh?
Things look grim.
And in theory, we're back.
We are.
Mhm.
I am.
You're here.
Beulah, anyone?
Good to go.
Alrighty. Chad, move. Okay, so Florian and Shade were going to check out the room. The rest of you were scouting around the promenade. So let's start with Florian and Shade. Okay. So a crew member does stop and check your tickets, which with your false ID as security staff lets you through. The upper deck is in massive contrast to the rest of the ship. Pretty much everything up here seems to be spick and span and kept in all the proper fashion. This is how the upper class, it seems, lives on here, and they're doing okay compared to everybody else. Various elegant beings, richly dressed, move about, some of them making their way down to the promenade, others sitting at viewing tables or moving from the more high-class establishments to the others. Quite a lot of the upper ranks of the crew also seem to be moving around, like officers and so on. But it's a civilian crew, so, not like grandiose military uniforms or anything. Up here, you can see up and into and through the dome, though since you're currently in warp, all you're really seeing is stars shooting by and the occasional distorted ripple of light. It's kind of pretty, you guess, but you've seen it all before. Around the outside of this section are all the higher class cabins, on several levels. You follow the directions to the fourth cabin, which should be the right one for this fellow, Guptang. Yes, so it looks to be a fairly high-class cabin. There are do not disturb signs in 3 separate galactic languages hung on the door and of the adjoining staterooms as well. But there don't seem to be any guards. But there are lots of people around, leaving and entering their cabins and so on. There's constant foot traffic.
I have a question. On this balcony, how far is it down to the next level if I look over?
So drop down to the sort of central plaza of the promenade deck. It's probably about 50 feet down.
All right. In preparation, I'll be growing a coil of vine on my back to separate later at a later time. And then I'll probably I'll make a decision about spending, but I'm probably going to spend like 2 or 3 hit points on that.
So what do you want to do?
And the rest of the time is going to be Overwatch. Do we notice anything? Well, do I notice anything odd on my side?
So the 2 aliens in grey suits come out of his cabin. You get a brief glimpse of Guptang in there, living it up, it would seem. the two aliens in the grey suits go to the next door cabin, swipe their pass key, and go inside.
Can I check on the monitor what they do when they go inside?
When they go inside, they step up to the Guptang that's in that room, and they use some kind of handheld device to scan him. Then they seem to have a bit of a discussion back and forth with him, and then he gets up and starts singing Guptang's mildly memorable hit in a couple of weeks back.
Okay, that's kind of odd. Do they come back out, or they stay in there for a while?
They stay in there for about 5 minutes, as long as it takes for the performance.
What are the other two duplicates doing during this time?
Checking the scanners, they're just sat there, still waiting.
All right.
After a while, they come out again, move to the next cabin, and repeat the process.
Okay.
And meanwhile,
the duplicate does the same thing. Sings
same
the song.
thing. Yeah, a different song, but yeah.
Is that
sorry?
Is there scanner on the what passes for a net? Like, is it Wi-Fi?
No, it's not connected to the main network. All right. Meanwhile, on the promenade, what are you guys up to? Anything in particular, or just kind of mooching around?
Oh, I am, nonchalantly searching around, looking to see what there is of interest that I might ping on as either a possible mark or some sort of interesting grift, or someone who looks like they just want to give me a lot of money because I'm beautiful.
And the rest of you, Glorp?
I am standing around with my martini glass of antifreeze, hitting on passing by women.
Okay.
You should show them displays of your holographic sex act.
That's
We'll
a
show off
brilliant
all the
idea.
shapes
I'm
you
going
can turn
to
into.
using that to attempt to seduce women.
See that? Want to do that? Most people just kind of speed up walking when they see what you're doing. Ermintrude, up to anything?
Ermintrude lacks much of a capacity for deceit and dissimulation, so she's just walking in a circle round the platform, waiting for the signal. As far as she's aware, there is a plan, which is at some point she will receive a message saying we've tripped the maintenance call for his cabin. So she is literally just going to be walking round and round in circles.
Yeah.
She doesn't get bored.
Yeah, lacks the nervous system for it. T
is attempting to carouse as best you can when it's a full adventure. Instead of the end of the session, it's going to try to carouse now.
Mm-hmm. So you're just spending money on tat and drinks and food from the various vendors.
Yes, exactly. With no benefit right now other than just saying I'm carousing.
Just imagining you sort of wandering around in a big T-shirt that says "I'm with Floorball Glups Nupley." Snoogle snork me quick hat, big foam hand, all kind of beads, stupid nonsense.
Exactly.
Like okay.
So you're doing the full touristy thing on this? Is that what TBA is doing?
Yes.
Oh, hilarious.
We can use the things she gets to decorate the ship before we throw him out again.
All right. Well, Lisa's checking out the crowd when she suddenly feels someone's damp, sticky manipulator organ upon her hindquarters.
Okay, I wiggle it and turn around.
Okay, there is a huge, bulbous, maggoty creature behind you. It has big, fat, three-fingered hands. It wears over the top of its bulky, semi-translucent body what appears to be some sort of tuxedo. And in its other pudgy, oozing hand, it holds an enormous cigar, which it lifts to its spiracules as it breathes in and then breathes out another random hole. Its gelatinous mouth burbles and makes horrible farting noises, which are then translated from a little device on its tie-pin. Have you ever considered going into show business?
I've considered it, Sugar. What makes you ask such an interesting question?
It's rare to see such a fine example of humanoid pulchritude.
Oh, well, you've seen one, you've seen them all, haven't you?
No. As the public have a constant appetite for such things.
And what kind of appetite does that mean?
I think you have star quality.
Really? What does star quality mean? Like I could become rich and famous?
It gestures to one of the staff passing. Bring me that. I bring him a tray of snacks that they've been passing around. The creature vomits a greenish goo onto these canapes and watches them slowly dissolve into a soup while it continues its conversation with you. Do you have any talents besides being
Beautiful, sexy, gorgeous?
Yes, all of that.
Yes, those are my skills.
Anything else? Could you sing, dance?
Well, anybody can dance. I'm not much of a singer. I think your snack there is ready for redigestion.
Oh, yes. He leans down and slurps the thick goo off the tray, and then passes the dripping tray off to another staff member. Well,
what did you have in mind? How much are you going to pay me?
Well, it will depend how successful you are, of course.
Well, look at me. How successful do you think I'll be?
I think you could be very successful, but we need to find the right angle to market you to the people.
I'm pretty good at finding the right angle on my own. Again, what we're talking, mega or gigagrams platinum.
Well, it would depend on your success level, and we can never really be sure of that. Of course, I would take a standard 10%.
No, I think you're misunderstanding. I'm looking for you to pay me up front to make this happen.
Oh, no, this is a profit share arrangement, though I would be willing to invest a certain amount into marketing you, providing you with talent, perhaps some sort of throat implant to help you sing.
Well, if I got a throat implant to sing, my throat may not do what it does best otherwise.
Or it might do it better. It all depends how much you're willing to invest. Anyway, my card. And he hands you a physical card, somewhat mired in mucus.
Yeah, I take it between, thumb and forefinger, very at a corner. Allow all the ichor to drop off and shake it a little bit. Well, thank you. And I take a look. Who am I speaking to?
Globnex.
Globnex. Well, Globnex, it's been such a pleasure. Um, would I have heard of any of your other clients?
Perhaps you may have. Have you heard of the latest flash in the pan, Guptang Nola Nola?
What? No, you don't say. That is an amazing groove. I could dance to that. And perhaps we could discover if I can dance, if that could be a sellable skill.
We're having a little meeting later. Perhaps you could drop by. The card will tell you when it is. But yeah, Guptang, it's interesting. I've been pursuing him for a while for our contracts, and he's never been interested before. Suddenly,
Oh
he
wait, so
seems to
you're
have
saying he's
changed his
not
mind.
your client now?
Oh, he is now.
Oh,
Yeah, just recently signed.
oh. Did he get a signing bonus?
After a fashion, yes. He received an advance.
Right. So what is my advance?
Well, we'll see once we've determined the full extent of your talents.
Okay. Well, just so you know, I have an emotional support glorb that I take with me especially when I meet new people. It makes me very, very nervous. So my emotional support glorb will be with me, and the problem is that the way we communicate, they can the glorb only understands what's going on if I have a psionicist who's maintaining a link between us. So I have this really cute, sexy little psionicist that I use as a translator. So I can be there with my emotional support glorb as long as the translator is allowed to be there. And then, from there, the sky's the limit.
Celebrities and their entourages. He holds the cigar to another gaping spiracule. Anyway, perhaps I'll see you later. And he oozes unctuously.
Time and place again, my dear?
What?
The time and place again?
The card will tell you.
It will?
Yes.
Hey, hello? I'm talking to the card now.
The card does not say anything. It sits there implacably. Though you're pleased to note that the card itself seems to be somewhat hydrophobic, as all the ooze has collected on one corner.
Oh, good. I flick it off.
It lands in someone's drink without them noticing.
Lovely.
All right.
I'd just like to point out that I have spent the best part of a decade with no conscious memory of the existence of Michael fucking Winner. So thanks for that, Grim.
I'm glad someone got it.
I missed it. What happened? What?
A British film director with he directed the first Death Wish, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
British film director who later in life became notorious for his slightly sleazy reputation for picking up young ladies and claiming he could make them stars.
Oh, that's gotcha. I love that trope. That is lovely.
Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3, Hannibal Brooks, The Mechanic, 1972 version, The Sentinel, The Big Sleep, 1978. Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of let's be really violent stuff. Yeah. Cool. He made Charles Bronson a big star.
Mandem. All right. So, do you know which cabin he's in? There's whatever's going on with those copies or clones or whatever they are. There's the sleazy guy who seems to be tied in with him somehow. He's just going to stick with the plan to create the distraction and use that to get in.
Well, I think we've got an invitation in now, right?
He got an invitation to a party of some kind.
Oh, I thought that was. He said. All right, let me recall. I thought he said that he was about to have a meeting.
No, not till later.
But it's not going to be a meeting. It's going to be a party. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, a meeting, a showbiz meeting.
Oh, sit around, do a bunch of blow, drink a bunch of vodka. Understood.
Yes. All right, but is the plan still to trip the fake emergency, kill him, and then run for the shuttle?
I think our two security OPSEC guys have been messaging back and forth in the chat to just try and clarify a few points as well. I don't know whether they wanted to bring that up verbally.
Yeah, we're just waiting for our chance. Didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me just quickly read back because that'll be quicker. All right. How far back do I need to go? Okay. Okay, the grey dudes seem to be just sort of, technicians, maybe. They don't give an impression of being like handy in combat or anything, so they shouldn't present too much of an issue. Security forces on the ship, they do have security guards. They're wearing lightly armored uniforms and carrying low-power laser pistols, from what you've seen. But presumably they've got more powerful security in case of big emergencies. Yes, you can get an idea of the patrol patterns because you've already had access to the security systems. The two bodyguards are probably the only thing that will give you a real problem. And yes, if you can find a way to do so, you can flood the room with THC.
I didn't know if we have to light him on fire to do that or something.
I think I can just separate a body part for that, right? A budding body.
You can pluck off some body parts. Or
yeah, it'll cost me some hit points, right? That's the trade.
Yeah.
If I'm okay. Yeah. All right. Is everyone okay with the setting comms to vibrate?
Sure.
I'm very okay with that.
Yeah. So one proceed. One
for his own private reason.
2 hold, 3 shit's getting wrecked. That's what the
Just give me a sec. I've had a important work message which I have to reply to, so just give me a second here. Been trying to get some novelty dice made. But I think 500 dice is too many for a joke, basically.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You can get smaller amounts cheaper, but they're the ones that are printed on, and it rubs off.
Right. Yeah, I think 500 is like the break that I've been coming across. I've looked at it. I've talked to a couple manufacturers recently.
Shade, are you all robot or
cyborg?
Cyborg. Okay. So my spores might fuck you up a little bit.
No, because I got the light combat armor that's sealed up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you to flood it.
Hey, Grim.
Yes.
I'm not going to release a giant cloud, but I'm going to slowly just start trickling in the stream. Just like, one might pass a dandelion and a couple of particles here and there. Nothing too insane. Just inoculate the upper atmosphere.
To make people a little bit more.
What's going to cost me?
Hey, you should have been an ayahuasca plant,
I'm not separating anything off myself unless you want me to call it a separation. I would like to try to use the budding, but I don't know the recharge rate of that.
Okay. So, well, how much do you want?
Hey, Ermintrude, I just want to clarify something because your character's basically two characters, but actually there's 3 places you need to look. Did you realize that you have a ranged attack with an energy blaster?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right. So the bodyguards are in with him right now, Jim, or is they still in that other room with the duplicate?
Security guards are still with him in the room.
Okay. So Flora, can you start with your whatever it is you're going to do to get them high?
Yeah, start with light inoculation and then do it in like maybe 15-minute cycles where I step it up a little bit more, but not enough to be noticeable in the air.
Well, are they looking on the monitors, Grim? Are they already like? Is the air got smoke and stuff in it from?
No, it's just
farting
kind
or-
of. Yeah, there's a slight fragrance. No one's going to particularly notice, but it's gradually having a mellowing effect on the people out here. But if you want to have a stronger effect in the room, you have to do something more.
Can I trigger one of the systems, the maintenance? What do you call it? Can't think of the right word for it. The fan, the airflow past Flora into the room to draw his powder in.
Yeah, let me see. So getting access to the system is easy enough, but knowing what to do with it is trickier. Because you. All right, make another hacking roll to move back across into the engineering systems.
Yep. 5.
Okay.
Tinker roll, maybe?
Yeah, either tinker or structure.
I'll go for Tinker. 2.
Is that under your tinker skill?
Yeah, my Tinker's 4.
Okay. All right. So the air conditioning, the gas recyclers subtly shift, so the sort of constant background hum changes slightly, and the scent from Florian gets pulled up into the ventilation and shipped into the room.
So, Florian, how long do you think it'll take for that? I don't know, your ejaculation to affect them?
Giddy. Let's spend a hit point. And Grim, I would like to make this manifested as the duck that's sucking in air. Can I see it?
Yeah.
All right. So, what if I flick a small, tiny? We're talking like pea size of myself. Try to use my dex to flick it right into that air duct.
Okay, so you're going to pee in the air duct.
But I want to try to do it with subterfuge a little bit as best I can. What do I need to roll?
Okay, roll stealth.
Stealth. Okay. Oh boy. Let's see what we get here. 2. I have 1 X mark.
You have 1 X mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
In that case, make a dexterity save.
Dexterity save. So under 17? Oh no, under
half your dex. So it's
half my that's reflexes, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay. And then that's on a D20.
Yeah.
8. 9 is my reflex. I got an 8.
Okay. Right, so you try to be stealthy, but there isn't a particularly stealthy way you can tear part of yourself off and flick it into a ventilation duct. Speaking of which, you should probably make a to hit roll as well. So make a ranged attack roll.
All right. And I got to roll that. Do I get my +5 on that then?
Yes.
Nice. 17 + 5 is 22.
Okay, no problem. It zips straight between the grill of the thing and disappears inside. You see one of the other passengers looking at you, like, what the hell were you doing? And to cover it, you lift your hand up over one of your breathing holes in your head trunk and mimic sneezing. So they think you just picked your nose and flicked it into the air ventilation duct. They give you a look of disgust and wander off.
All right. So how long do you think that'll take to work?
I spent an HP point, so it's what would that be?
Well, I have secretly made saving rolls for the people inside based on what you rolled to see how much of an effect it had.
Yeah, I was just asking him in character.
Okay, so I guess the plan is to trip the fake alarm and use that as or is that after you've attacked him to act as a distraction?
Yeah. I was about to do that. I was about to say something, but I'm trying to ask him in character how long.
Okay, go.
My guy doesn't know nothing about what he did.
We'll give it 30 minutes. Usually most things take effect in 30 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes. All right. So do you think we should do the same thing to the other copies of them or just lock those rooms down? Florian?
I'm thinking.
He's a tree. It takes him a while to think.
Well, actually, yeah, you know what? Since I can regenerate that shit pretty quickly, maybe.
I imagine when Florian thinks, he does the chanting noise that Abe does in Oddworld. That's not a reference anyone got. Okay, never mind.
I remember it barely.
I just don't. So my concern, again, I'm texting here. My concern is I don't know if I don't really want to attract too much attention. That's my main concern.
Okay, so then why don't I lock down and isolate those other 3 rooms so we can deal with them later. We give the message to everyone to work their way up here, and then we trigger the alarm. We trigger the incident.
Okay.
Right. Make 3 separate hacking rolls to lock the doors through the system.
553. 553.
Yeah. On the exterior of the doors, several lights change color, demonstrating that the lock has locked into place.
Okay, and then kill all power in there. So there's no lights, no external communications, no nothing in those rooms.
They're locked down. You've put them into security lockdown mode.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's what the ship uses when someone gets out of hand. So.
Okay, so we give the call out to the rest of them to get up here. I think Glorp is going to go through the air vents to get here. He wanted to, and Sleaze and
What'd you call me?
Sleaze and I can't read.
Lisa.
It's TBA.
Yeah, TBA. Way up here, and then we can set the warning, the incident to get Ermintrude up here. So give them a little bit of time to move their way up
first. To get into position.
Yeah.
Okay, so the assault team then presumably is Florian and Shade coming in the door, Glorp coming in through the vent.
Mm-hmm.
With Lisa and T and Ermintrude as backup and as help to clear the way and get down to the shuttle.
Yeah, because they're not really fighters, so.
I want to make mention that I'm going to do Overwatch, let them go in first, and then be a step behind them. That way I can keep an eye on what's going on.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm the first one through the door, so or Glorp if he's faster through the vents.
You're more melee based, right, Shade?
Nope, more ranged, but that's just what it is.
No.
It's going to be really short ranged. That's all.
How about we switch?
Either or.
Because you can fire. That's fine if you want to fire from behind me. I can soak. So how about we switch?
Sure. Either way. Okay, so
just a question mechanically. So there's no firing into combat issue, is there? I don't remember reading that in the rules.
In melee, there can be, yes. So hit, don't miss.
So it's only on a miss, then you can possibly hit someone else?
Right, so if two people are in melee, right, and you fire into it, you should have a penalty to hit, and if you miss, there is a chance you hit your friend. Or at least the wrong person.
Pretty straight up.
Yeah. Pretty standard.
So, Grim, when you tell us when Lisa and TVA are up here, then I'll set the thing off. I won't know when Glorp has made it or not because he's going through vents and I've got no way of keeping mind.
Yeah. Can I have a structure roll from Glorp, please, Simon?
Structure. Okay, yep.
Just to find your way.
Yeah, so my structure, I think, is 5, and I rolled a 5.
That's fine. You succeed.
Okay.
He's taking the most interesting way up.
My plan for combat is to squirt antifreeze into an orifice. The only accessible orifice is their mouth.
Then follow it in.
Notice you can get into a hole the size of a fist. So any orifice that can accommodate a fist can accommodate you. And I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, we don't need to think about that.
Well, that's all of them.
That does raise the question: could he wear Goop Sing Nola Lola? Could you wear that? Who wants a body massage?
Yes, he could. You just have to hollow out the organs and things.
Well, no, technically we're donuts. We're hollow. From your mouth to your anus is one straight shot. It just happens to have some convolutions on its way.
Yeah. Okay. So what's happening first?
Well, we're waiting to make sure Lisa and TBA have made it up to the right level here.
Yeah. This would be the vibrator pattern.
Yeah. And so we already sent out to the proceed to get them up here. So once they're up here, that's when I got to trip the thing, but I got to wait till I know they're up here.
Everyone is in position.
Then I trip the thing and start the emergency separation thing.
Okay.
I'm doing it clear. I'm going to breach the door with the shotgun. So as soon as the door opens, it's bang, bang.
Okay. It's one thing at a time. So first, it's a loud clunk. The entire ship reverberates with it. Warning klaxons go off, and announcements start coming out in different languages saying, please return to your cabins. People shriek and panic and run in all directions. The ship drops abruptly out of warp and tumbles slightly. But you're all fine. You are not being thrown around. You can feel very slight accelerations and bumps in different directions as the ship tries to right itself. But chaos, panic, and disorder is accomplished.
So that way, Ermintide knows he's supposed to be coming up here. God, I hate that name.
Hermitage. It's Ermintrude.
Hey, I hate to tell you, but I got dyslexia, and I got one of the worst forms of it. You know how hard it is to read those things on the screen?
Oh, I hear you. Fortunately, none of those letters are in my dyslexia because it's a trude. Otherwise, I would be struggling with a B at the end.
Oh my God, horrible to read.
Yeah, those M's and N's must. Yeah, and the E's. Oh, hilarious. Oh well, sorry.
Right. Okay, so the ship lurches, and it's time to breach, theoretically.
I feel like the plan is different now.
So Florian is covering, so that leaves Shade to break in the front and Glorp to break in through the vent.
We swap. Way around. The opposite way around. Florian's going in, and I'm covering.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Florian goes up to the door. Presumably, Shade is then going to trick the door to open.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you make another hacking roll, please?
Yep. And now I get a 6. Well,
okay.
It was going to come up sooner or later.
Make a.
What? He's got the magic shotgun opener.
Make a logic roll, please. Logic save.
Okay, how do I do that? What's it on?
Logic. It's next to your intelligence.
What die am I using?
D20.
D20. No, 4. So yeah, it's under 7.
Okay. So if you fail a skill roll and then you make a save, it allows you to recover or get like a partial success out of it. So you hit the button to open the door. The door opens about halfway and then stops. And your little PDA flashes up red and says intrusion detected, and you're knocked out of all the systems.
Okay. So Florian's got to force his way in, basically.
The fact that the door only half flew open causes you guys a bit of a problem. So it makes it a bit more obvious that something bad is going on if the klaxons and everything hadn't already done that. So everyone roll initiative.
And what's initiative on?
D20.
You should have an initiative bonus under your social reaction. But that's just your dex bonus?
Yeah. I think it is.
No, wait, has that something to do with wisdom as well?
It might be both.
It's attack bonus plus wisdom.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I have a +3 bonus, and I rolled a 1. That's a 4.
Well, I rolled a 2, so not much better.
Okay, so
I've got
one at a time. What's Florian's initiative?
19.
Glorps?
4.
Lisa?
10.
Shade?
17.
Ermintrude?
11.
Stoic. T?
4.
T's got caffeine in it. You'd think it would be higher.
Mm.
All right, so let me just organize this shizzle. Into order. Okay. I'm going to put T ahead of Glorp because she has a nervous system. All right, so Florian's up first. The door slams half open, but you can see the faces of startled-looking guards through the gap.
Partial cover and shotgun blast inside the room.
Okay.
So are they being affected by his drugs since we had that set up?
I know that. You don't know yet. Unless you've got a bio
No, that's what I'm asking. Do we see Woo! Yeah, they are.
They're a humanoid species. They look slightly sluggish, and eyes are slightly.
Yeah,
shut,
that's what I was
perhaps.
wondering. That's what I was wondering whether we could see any effect.
Okay. Make an attack with your shotgun blast.
That is a natural 20 plus 5 on range attack.
But it's a natural 20. So that is a hit, roll damage, and double it.
And you said that was the D8 for that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
8 and a 1 for 9.
Okay. Right. So where's that armor? 1. And hit points.
So I'm assuming doing the partial cover bracing.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Yeah.
Yes, you slam up against the door, reach around with this stubby little pump gun you've got, and blaze off a few rounds into them. The pellets smash into this guy's suit, which seems to be mildly armored, but a purplish blood starts to leak out from various holes that are punched through it. Okay, Shade.
Drop prone in a sniper stance with my plasma rifle and see who I can see between Florian's legs through the door.
You can see the two guards, but one's in front of the other. The one in front has just been shotgun blasted and is sort of sprawling back at the moment with purple blood spraying up. The other guy is kind of in cover from you behind him and is drawing a weapon.
All right, I'm going to shoot that guy. It's fine. He gets cover.
Okay.
17 plus 8, so 25.
25. That's going to hit. Roll damage.
Is anything added to the 2d6?
Does it have any special effects?
It just says 2d6 energy.
Yeah, so 2d6 energy attack. So roll 2d6.
8.
Okay. Right, a plasma bolt flies just past the guy who is reeling, burning through the back of his heavy armored suit jacket, and hits into the second guy. The plasma discharges throughout his side and incinerates one half of his jacket. Neither of them seem to be down, but they're both hurt. Actions. Each of them finishes drawing their weapon and moves into cover in the room. So one of them slams into the door on the opposite side as Florian. The other one flips over a coffee table and crouches behind it. Lisa?
I am a non-combatant. I do nothing.
Okay.
I stay out of the way.
You could watch to warn us if anything's coming.
Well, I mean, of course. But I don't do the actual, violence part.
Okay. And Ermintrude?
Presumably, all of these doors will have to have a mechanical fail-safe opening and closing system, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ermintrude will sort of walk up. She doesn't have adrenaline or an adrenal system of any kind, so she walks up sort of very impassively. Little Phillips screwdriver emerges from her side, and presumably this mechanical thing is covered by some kind of plate or something, and so she just starts unscrewing the plate so that she can either open or close the door mechanically as required.
So I was imagining more like R2-D2, but a larger rusty panel, and then a hammer comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, make a tinker roll to override the door.
Now, my tinker currently has six. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 6, but it's listed as it's got a specialty as robot. So does that mean I need a 5 and only 6 when I'm dealing with robots?
Yes. Otherwise, if you do ever get a skill to 6, what it means is you have to roll 2 dice, and if you get a double 6, you fail.
Right. Okay. So it's just because I'm not dealing with a robot, I'm just rolling a straight d6. Okay. Yeah. Success on a 4.
Okay, yeah, you beat the panel off the side of the door, grip the wires inside with your manipulator, and the door slams the rest of the way open, completely exposing the guards.
It doesn't yet, because I
No?
don't know.
Okay,
I don't know whether tactically it's better for the door to be open or closed. And so, since Shade is standing right next to me, look down at him. Open or closed?
Open, man.
Open it.
Okay. All right, it clanks open. Florian is exposed, but so is the guard on the other side, who looks abruptly panicked. Right, T.
T is getting ready to fire a mind bolt at the closest guard. Exactly.
Okay.
Well, the panic guy is a good target.
I will fire at the mechanic then.
Mind bolt.
So
You
level
can hurl a
1.
bolt of psionic energy at someone within 25 meters, plus 1 meter per level of the scion, so 28 meters. This bolt does 1d4 points of damage per level, so 3d4, and can be divided between multiple targets should you so wish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's level 1, so spend 1 psi point.
Okay. I'm down to
And
step
who do you want to blast, and with how much? Oops.
I want to blast the mechanic.
Did I say there was a mechanic?
Oh, I thought...
No, there's a guard that's standing there confused because the door just slammed open.
Well, then I will fire at him.
Okay, with all 3 dice?
Yes.
All right. Roll 3d4.
Okay. Wow, that's a 3.
Oh dear. All right, you unleash the full ravening power of your mind. The air distorts, small objects are flung in all directions, and he gets a slight headache.
Brain freeze!
It's the strongest will you've ever encountered. Never before such a powerful mind stood in opposition to yours. Or maybe that Kiss Me Quick cap you're wearing has tinfoil on the inside. Who knows?
Definitely it's that.
Glorp, staring out of the grill of the air filtration system, you can see these guards getting ready to fight, though they're all already injured. You can also see your target, Mr. Guptang, and his 2 girlfriends completely caned out of their tree, laying on the bed, just sort of giggling as the firefight goes on around them.
Can I get to the target?
You're almost above the bed.
Okay. I'd like to make my way to the target and say, oh, well, I understand there'd normally be some sort of ritual involved, like a date, but and then my finger is going to morph into a penis shape and stick into his mouth.
Okay, so you're going to...
Ejaculating a whole load of antifreeze.
Okay.
Ejaculating in him.
He is helpless, so make a melee attack.
17, so that presumably is going to hit.
Yes, because he's helpless. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah. Right, so you flop down out of the grill, land on the bed, stuff a gelatinous cock into his mouth, and then dump about a gallon of antifreeze down his throat into his belly from your internal pocket. He chokes, trying to still giggle. The 2 alien girls point and laugh as you antifreeze Bukaki him, possibly to death. Yes, he just critically failed his save versus the poison. Green.
I was not thinking that at all. I thought you were going to boot him because that worked faster and he would die of alcohol poisoning. But you didn't boof him. You gagged him.
Green froth bubbles out of his nose, his ears, his eyes bulge and pop out with green froth coming out behind them, and more green froth from unnamed orifices starts to soak into the bed. There is a very strong smell of ammonia.
It's my understanding that he really enjoyed that.
All right, new turn. Florian.
Yep.
What do you want to do? You stood back to back with one of the guards.
Okay. I'm going to spend 3 hit points to separate myself and have my viney arms anchor at the wall and tell it to fire the shotgun, which is still pointed into the rim.
Okay.
I'm hoping this like overcharges the shotgun until it like booms or whatever, and then evade away.
Okay. So you're going to leave your arms attached to the door firing the shotgun while you move away.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, your arms explode out in roots, which kind of grapple all around the door frame. You sort of rip your arms off with the new ones growing out as you grow slightly shorter. And the shotgun continues to blast, but it has your skill, so roll to hit.
6 and 5 is 11 to hit.
Okay,
It's close range
8.
with the shotgun.
Yeah, but it's still a miss. He desperately hurls himself out the way as your shotgun just blasts around the room, shattering irreplaceable Erlanth vases and other artistic artifacts in the room.
And then regenerate, and that's the end of my turn, I believe, right?
Yes. So, Shade, you now have clear line of sight into the room.
Is there just the one guard left? One bodyguard? Because you just shotgunned the other one?
No, he missed.
He missed?
So one guard has moved out. One guard has moved out of your line of fire. The other one behind the coffee table is still in your line of fire.
And I'm the only visible target, right? Right now?
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, and Glorp.
Yeah, I don't think they know about Glorp yet. So. So I flick my what's it called, heavy deflector shield that I bought on, and while I do flick that, and then I'm going to quickly hack back in, even though I know he's going to be able to shoot at me while I'm doing it, to make sure I get the recording of what just happened with Glorp, and then I post broadcast that wideband to the like galactic band or whatever, so everybody can see him getting screwed to death in the open, so that we can get that extra credit for like the heinous.
Okay, so first step is getting back into the system, but your skill is reduced by 1 because all the alarms and everything are up now.
That's fine. It's 4. It's right on the money.
Okay. All the security systems are alert and on, so you're able to get into them relatively easily. You'll be able to complete your action by the end of your next turn.
Okay. Do I need to make another roll for the next part of it? Because I was to get into it, right? Do I need to do another one?
Yeah, make another roll to grab the recording.
1.
Okay, no problem. Right. One of the guards inside, the one who was at the door and just hurled himself out the way, in his wild spinning around, he notices that their principal has been bukakied to death with ammonia and brings his gun to bear on Glorp. What is Glorp's armor class?
I'm not.
Let me see if I can pull up.
Where is AC?
Let me look real quick.
Let me see if I can pull up your sheet. Glorp.
Sorry. Oh no, wait.
All right, so
Range defense.
Right, it's 15.
Okay, and do you have any additional equipment that we haven't covered? Doesn't look like it.
No, but I only take 1 damage if it's not an energy weapon. So
yeah, this is a slug thrower, so it's only going to do 1 damage to you, even if it hits. So
yeah, I'm just going to absorb the bullet.
He rolled 9 in total, so he misses. The slug thrower goes off, and the heavy bullet smashes into the wall of the place and just flattens out into it. It gets through the outer layer, but then there's a micrometeorite protection level underneath, which easily absorbs the bullet. So he missed, but you are being fired at. The other guard, however, is armed with a plasma pistol. It makes a noise as the capacitors charge up, and having seen his friend fire, he brings it around to bear on Glorp and misses as well. It sets fire to the hair of one of the alien girls on the bed, which, thanks to a great deal of product, is incredibly flammable. There's a bright flash of light and a scream as her hair goes up, or whatever passes for hair in her species. Right, Lisa. Still nothing?
No, so I am now going to sashay swaying sexily down the hallway towards our escape vehicle.
Okay. You've got the route plotted out. There are crew helping everyone back to their cabins, trying to keep everyone calm.
I'm going to use stealth.
Okay, make a stealth roll.
Yeah, let me pull up my stealth again.
You can increase your effective stealth skill by 1 because everyone's panicking.
Okay. So that's a pass, 3 out of 4.
Okay.
So I am just a sexy ghost in the hallway.
Yes. All right. So yeah, you start down the route, the escape route, making sure it's clear, slowly, carefully, stealthily, moving through while everyone panics and runs around you. Ermintrude.
I'm right in thinking that Shade is fully in the room now. Is that right?
No, I'm laying on the ground in the hallway.
So you're laying down in the hallway. Florian isn't there anymore either.
Yeah,
he's also out,
leaving his arms in the door.
So the only person in the room is Glorp, and we know he doesn't need a door to get out again.
Yeah.
Yep. Slamming the store shut would be good.
That's what I was then thinking. It does mean that I'm taking a slight risk that Glorp can get out without being shot at least twice more before he can slither his way back out. What is my... I didn't see him come in. I don't know how fast he is through these kind of things. What is my best guesstimate as to how exposed he will be once we shut this door?
Let's see.
Well, you watched a bullet pass right through him.
Yeah, true. So, thanks to his limited shape shifting, he should be able to thin himself up and out and reach up to the vent to get out easily enough. So he should be okay. He'll just be exposed to fire for a turn.
Okay. In that case, yes, I'm going to mechanically shut and mechanically lock the door.
Okay. You slam the door shut and then rip the mechanical lever out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that ain't opening anytime soon. T?
Well, T is going to join the rest of the crew elsewhere where they are, and I take it there's enemies shooting at us still, so I will attempt
only inside the cabin. Outside, everyone's just running and screaming in all directions. So you've essentially been shut out, so you can't see in to use your psychic powers. Best thing to do is probably to head for the shuttles.
Yes, however, I could open the door if I needed to.
True, because you've got the psychic capability of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way the door could be opened and shut at the moment. So do you just want to wait ready to do that?
Yes.
Okay. And what does Glorp wish to do?
This is now an orgy.
Fiery orgy.
I'm going to go and have
intimate relations.
Intimate relations with the guy with the plasma gun.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of. You know, remember Morph, the plasticine, when he turns into a column and sort of bounces around? That's how I imagine you move when you're in a hurry. So you sort of bounce across the room and try to thrust your gelatinous proboscis somewhere intimate.
A gelatinous horny slinky.
Yes. Can you please make a close attack roll?
This is not how I imagined the lover skill should be used.
Why is my close attack lower than my base attack?
It shouldn't be. Let me have a look at your sheet.
Yeah,
0, unless I've accidentally pressed 0 on the sheet.
It's because your strength is low.
Right.
Okay. I got 12 then.
Yeah. Which is enough to hit because it's easier to hit in close combat. All right. But it's not a crit or anything. So can you roll? Well, you're going for his orifice, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm injecting.
Okay, make a lover roll to see if you manage to get access to an entrance.
Yes.
Okay, you stuff a pseudopod up his trouser leg and find something warm and and then shoot the other gallon of antifreeze.
A whole lot of enema.
Okay, he's not quite dead, but he is incapacitated.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
And antifreeze spills down his back, and he collapses to the ground, clutching what you presume is his stomach, and throwing up greenish fluid. Okay. Well, if everyone else is good...
I was just trying to remember the name of the Illinois enema bandit. It's Michael Kenyon, wasn't it, I think?
That was a song
called what?
Death, I think.
Frank Zappa did a song called The Illinois Enema Bandit, which was a true story about a young man who had a habit of breaking into college dorm rooms and giving co-eds unwilling enemas, and his name was Michael Kenyon.
See, I know from Lawnmower Death, who did a version of the song, I'm the Illinois Enema Bandit, I will make your rectum sick. And that was the only lyrics.
Right.
I'll be up when you come up.
Okay. Well, presuming everyone else is making their way to the shuttle, that just leaves Glorp and the one remaining capable guard.
Yeah.
Is my arms inside the door or on the outside of the door?
They got crushed in the door when it shut.
All right, good. I don't have to... Did that make the shotgun explode?
It went crump, and probably some pellets went flying around.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Graham,
I mean, yeah.
I'm not running for the shuttle. I'm actually going to the other 3 rooms in sequence, opening the door, going in, killing off the duplicate, just in case that's the real one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can go in and finish them off. They're just kind of sitting there dumbly.
Well,
and
Shade
blankly.
does that. I'm going to Indiana Jones pieces of my ass that I prepared earlier to swing down and attach it. That way they have like a link chain to get down to the bottom quickly.
Okay. Is Glorp just going to flee and leave the other guard since he can't hurt you? Really?
No, I'm going to attempt to have sex with him as well.
You're out of antifreeze.
I've
So
got
now he's just having sex.
Sorry, what?
I have other juices in me.
Let's get do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay. All right. Well, he tries to shoot you again. He gets 17 to hit. Is that above your range defense?
Yes.
Yes.
Take a single point of damage as the heavy slug hits into your body and goes gloop.
Oh no.
There's a brief sort of cavitation wave, and then your body closes up.
This is
your turn.
I just assume that this is his mating ritual, and this is him ejaculating into me.
It wouldn't be unprecedented. Snails fire love harpoons into each other made out of
The
bone,
gun is a
so-
sex toy.
Okay.
Are you
What are you
recording
doing?
this for posterity?
What are you doing to this poor man?
Well, I guess I'm going to attempt to make out with him. which, I mean, that's going to involve sticking my tongue as far down his throat as I can. I don't have a tongue, but I'll make one.
A close approximation thereof.
Yeah.
All right, make a close combat attack roll on him.
Somehow, I don't think this was the intended use for the melee combat rules.
14.
That is a hit. You don't have any special close combat weapons or anything, do you?
No, I mean, I'm sticking my tongue down his throat.
Well,
as I say, apparently, yes.
I'm trying to remember what unarmed does.
I've got a sexual position database, so that might give me a bonus, maybe.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Is that it's going to help you.
Yeah.
To
help you interface with as many species as possible. Unarmed attacks do 1d2 damage minus your strength, so you do 1 point of damage. However, he is so disgusted, so wounded, and so slightly high that he brings up his gun to try and shoot you off his face, but ends up shooting himself in the side of the head. So you're able to ooze away with no problem. All right. In the panic, you were all able to make your way down to the shuttle bay without being stopped, shot, destroyed, or otherwise prevented. You see what's probably Guptang's shuttle, because it's all gold lame. Hack your way in and flee the ship quickly. This thing even has a very small warp drive, so you should be able to get away to the nearest star system. And
Tin Man, you owe me a shotgun.
That will bring our adventure to a close.
Now, I want you to know, in my worst nightmares, that's what I thought would happen with Glorp. That it would be that it was going to be this horrific body horror bukkake tentacle thing. I don't know how you made this happen, but thank you very much.
All right. So yes, that was chaotic. Not the scenario as I planned for it, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll be doing a crowdfunder for a sort of reissue and a campaign soonish. I will let you know, keep up on the main channel and everything for news about that, but it should be an opportunity to hopefully get hold of the main book more easily and quickly, and a whole adventure campaign. And I will run a mini campaign of Machinations at some point in the near future, probably when we start doing the crowdfunding for the campaign and things. Yeah, sort of cross-marketing, transmedia, as we used to say in the early 2000s. Thanks for playing, everybody. Anything before we end the stream?
No, it was good fun.
It was a lot of fun, yes.
I was very surprised at how well the various pre-gens ended up working well together, because like I said, each one was total random, you know. And I mean, I don't know, like, if you noticed that Shade Cobalt is red. He's like red.
Yeah. So his brother Shade Cadmium is blue. All right. Well,
I was going to say,
I'm tired, but I'm glad we broke the curse of not being able to run games this year. Hopefully, things will continue well. If anyone watching either now or on replay wants to join us for a game on a Sunday, let me know. Next Sunday might be T-shirts game. I don't know. And then after that, well, I'll let people know what I run otherwise. All right. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Lots of fun.